for him.
and that's another reason that I think that the idea of resetting the fab budget at the end of the regular season is a good idea, so that you don't have situations like that where it's like somebody who didn't make the playoffs and happen to not spend any of their fab budget all year long or whatever.
But they're still invested in the league, and I say good for them. The thing is we need to have some kind of reason for them to be doing it. So
I think in the most serious competitive leagues,
we are live now. It looks like.
okay.
I believe that the most common practice in serious competitive leagues,
Get those
like
mics closer and up to your
high-level
face,
entry,
boys.
is to lock rosters for teams that don't make playoffs.
See, I don't agree with that. I think
I'm just saying.
I'm just saying. As long as you have
when
a
a large amount of money gets involved,
I get you, but
that's
have a
generally
big
how
punishment.
people like how to do it.
You have a big punishment at the end,
but
so
that
people.
makes sense when you're in your home league. That makes
Which is
that,
what we're
that
mostly
makes,
talking about. But yeah.
I mean, I guess.
I
mean, to me, when it comes to winning, they're one and the same. Like if you want to win your home league or you want to win a serious league, they're one and the same. So I'm just talking about like the practices of serious leagues, and that is that in a serious high dollar league, it's very unlikely that would have happened. And what I'm talking about is that in our league, priority ads of Jalen Wright and the Jacksonville Jaguars defense both went to a team not in the playoffs because he had the highest fab bid.
You guys both should have got the stream.
I got
stream
it.
text.
I did.
I'm going.
Okay. So we are live.
What's up, everybody? As long as we're live and we're at the beginning here, I just want to shout this out real quick. And I already gave Ken my apology, but I wanted to apologize to Ray and anybody who was listening last week. I was in the Bahamas. I had just gotten knocked out of a tournament. I was very drunk. And so...
and still drinking.
I am sorry that I was yelling at you guys the whole time and that I kept repeating myself and whatnot, but, you know... It's one of those nights. I hope to not let that happen again. Sorry about that.
I didn't notice.
He almost fell over a couple of times.
Yeah, that was kind of funny. When you got on too, I hadn't broadcasted you yet, but when you had got on, you're like shirtless and.
Oh, dude, I'm in the Bahamas, man.
I think you had a towel on your head still because you just got out of the shower. It's pretty funny.
Well, cheers to the playoffs.
I already killed mine, but cheers.
To the playoffs.
To the playoffs.
We all made it.
And to a new AFC West champion.
Hell yeah.
AFC West champion. What are we talking about?
It's not going to be
new
Kansas City.
Kansas City. I see. Yeah.
I see where you went there. I saw where you went there.
All right.
Brian didn't, and that's why he's drinking the Beaumont.
I thought he was keeping it in the fantasy football realm there, but yeah, you're right.
Not yet.
So, yeah. Why don't you explain why you're going to have to take a penalty shot later?
Well, because I am such an idiot. At the beginning of the year, I said that Kansas City...
No. It was only a few weeks ago.
Kansas City, the team that has won that division every year for the last 6 years.
This is recent stupidity.
Yeah.
Don't try and brush it off as though you said something at the beginning of the year. No, this is your stupidity.
This was
very
mid-season or whatever?
week 11.
Week
Right
11.
here. I got it written right here.
Okay.
Pretty little posted note right here next to me.
That's what made it so outrageous. It's like, what?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, they were already behind the 8 ball.
No, I think it's outrageous that they have not come back. It's been crazy.
It's very unlike him to take a bet like that.
Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah.
For all the
felt good
fighting
about
you do
it,
on
like,
bets, like that one, you were like,
Right.
you thought you had his dead rights on.
Yeah, he
I
did.
did feel good about it. That was
Pour out your Bowmore. Let's get started.
So, yeah, I will pour that in a minute here. Just give me a sec. I'll work my way up to that.
Yeah, you can give us your homer minute first.
Yeah, there you
Gotta
go.
be feeling pretty good, right?
I am feeling good at our chances to make the playoffs, yeah. I mean, and then something can happen. But
Burrow
like
could still get
TJ,
there.
things
It's
really have
unlikely.
to go
It's-
wrong,
yeah.
yeah. No, we're definitely the big favorite to win the division. So, awesome. It sucks that TJ's out, and looks like he's out for at least this week, if not next as well.
I would guess a couple of weeks.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. So yeah, when you get when you get the thing saying that he'll be back by the end of the year, it's like, ooh, all right.
Yes, this season, sometime this season.
But this season is only, 3 more weeks?
Right, which means by the playoffs.
Right.
That's what I would assume. But, for fantasy purposes, that we'll see. We're gonna find out if that hurts, because the Steelers are one of those teams that has a pretty decent fantasy schedule, including at Cleveland week 17.
Right.
It would be really nice to have T.J. Watt for at Cleveland week 17.
Agreed. But we don't know if it's going to happen. I like I say, I do think we're going to make the playoffs, and we're going to get TJ back by that time. If Aaron can start clicking with this offense, which he kind of has been, we have been improving in certain areas. The defense feels very unpredictable still. It's just I don't know when they're going to show up and dominate.
The thing that keeps
they're too reliant on turnovers. Is what it is.
Well, their pass rush seems to be, very hot and cold.
Yeah.
And that's the thing I don't understand, is they don't they typically they've had more pressure, and maybe it's Hayward. He's getting a little older.
Still looking good this year.
Typically, they've had more pressure. It feels like coming in addition to just the edge rushers. And whether it was because you have 3 of them, you have 3 really good ones.
Yeah.
And that feels like that's what's missing, is the finality of the Steelers defense. The fact that if they made you step up in the pocket, you were still doomed. And it doesn't feel that way. Right now, it feels like teams are able to create a lot more chaos against the Steelers defense than we're used to seeing. Because typically, you think of the Steelers defense, and then when a play breaks down and gets weird, it's like, oh, we got them. And now, this 2025 Steelers defense, it's there's a lot of chunk plays being given up in those
we're dominating certain kinds of offenses, but not every offense. You know what I mean? It's very much
still got Lamar's number.
Yeah, that feels good, and I feel like we're going to sweep them this year.
I wouldn't be surprised. They don't look good at all.
Nope, and they're coming back. They're coming to our house on the next one. So
they keep waiting for Lamar to be a champion of some kind. Like he's proven it before to be one.
Well,
I don't really understand that. He's had some really good games. He's had some really good consecutive games, but he hasn't really proven to be a champion.
He's had some really hot stretches.
Yeah,
but he hasn't
he's had
it's
some
weird to me
years.
It's
but
well,
they just
it's funny to me though.
Playoffs.
Because if you look at his when you look at his individual performances, throughout his seasons, there are always times where it's like, whoa, that was really bad. And
especially at the beginning.
For most quarterbacks who win MVP, that is not the case. Most of the quarterbacks who win the MVP, and Lamar's got multiples. He's got 2 or 3.
And a lot of people say he deserved to have 3.
Yeah. And to me, he should have lost that one to Dak in 23. Dak played better football. And then, like I was saying, and this is because, we play fantasy football, we notice these things on a week in, week out basis. It's like Lamar Jackson is fantastic when he's really good, but there's also a lava floor. And sometimes, it's something that happens to him every season at some point. It's not like you can go back at any of his seasons and be like, well, the floor was 20 points. Because it wasn't. There was at least a couple of duds.
Gotcha.
And, to Ray's point, it tends to show up in the biggest moments. When he's, his games against Kansas City, his games against Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
So I don't know. They don't look any closer to me to getting past that. So yeah, it looks good for you guys.
Are you saying we're gonna be able to
meanwhile,
see the?
you gotta click the button for it.
All right. So if you want to,
yeah. See, he's got his chat open.
Yeah. So if and let's go. I'll do that. So if you want to go pour yourself that loser shot,
Let me do it for you.
I can take my Homer minute now.
Yeah, take my Homer. It's here again.
I want to start my Homer Minute by talking about Monday Night Football, which the Cowboys were not a part of. Because, man, that is, as a Cowboys fan, that's the most fun I've had watching football in at least 25 years. That was amazing. Watching Jalen Hurts turn the ball over. And so, hold on, let me back this up real quick. Not only am I a lifetime Cowboys fan, my opponent, who I have to beat to get into the playoffs, is playing Jalen Hurts. And so I'm sitting there watching the game, and I watched that play happen, and anybody who's listening knows exactly what play I'm talking about. And I immediately text.
I think it was the way you opened it.
Text these guys. Is that a 4-point play? Did he just lose 4 points on one play? Does he get credit for a fumble loss? Even though, like,
that play.
Right.
That play.
Because it's like, does it? And yes, the answer is yes. That it technically, there was a change of possession when the interception happened, and a change of possession when the fumble happened from the Ravens, and when Jalen Hurts picked it up, and then another change of possession when Jalen Hurts fumbled the ball again. That felt so good. That was so much fun to watch. And there were so many people who were just completely destroyed by that Jalen Hurts performance. And my favorite part is that, like, all he had to do for so many people was, like, just essentially, like, he didn't even have to score. He didn't have to run for any yards. Like, he was going to naturally throw for like 150 yards, even in a bad game. All he had to do was not turn the ball over. There was I saw this prominent fantasy analyst share that he lost by 1 point on the last interception that Jalen Hurts threw. So he survived the whole game. And you're like, and he was still going to win in overtime. And it looked for like a certainty, if you were watching that game, that the Eagles were just going to finish off that drive, and that Jalen Hurts, was going to kind of redeem himself probably and get a tush-push touchdown. And then instead he throws an interception. I couldn't believe it when I saw it. I couldn't believe it when I saw it. It was such an unexpected happy.
Nice.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was beautiful. And so the Cowboys find themselves in the same position they were in last week. They're 2 games behind the Eagles. So the Eagles lost a game that we didn't expect them to lose. The Cowboys lost a game that a lot of people did expect them to lose. So, it sucks. I would have preferred.
Do you play the Eagles again?
No, we don't. Which is a problem. It is a problem. But we do play the Commanders and the Giants.
So what's your record right now?
6-6-1. 4 games to go.
You can end that at least at 8.
Excuse me. So
who are the last 2?
Giants and Commanders.
We got 4 games to go. Who are the last 2?
So next up we have Minnesota this weekend,
Winnable game
at home, and then we have the Chargers at home.
That one's gonna be tough.
Yeah, well, right, but Herbert. The other thing about that Monday night game thank you for, for taking me there, is that the Cowboys have the Chargers in Week 16, and we could beat that Chargers team for sure. If Herbert's not gonna,
I think the Chargers have proven that anybody can beat them, but also that they can beat anybody else.
If you look at their schedule,
kind of depends on how they're playing.
If you look at their schedule, it lines up really well for another huge Chargers fan disappointment. They could lose. They're
used to it.
They could definitely lose every game on the rest of their schedule. It starts with Kansas City this week, and then they play Dallas the week after that, and then they still have. I think they have Houston.
Oh, wow. Yeah, those are some tough teams.
Yeah. Let me double check that real quick. I don't want to be lying to people. Yeah, and then at Denver. They could definitely lose,
definitely lose
all 4 of those games, and 3 of them are on the road. It's at Kansas City, at Dallas. Their only home game is Houston.
That'd be funny if
Like the
they
Chargers
beat KC.
yeah, it would be. Well, I mean, but if they lose to Kansas City this weekend, there is definitely a world where Kansas City beats them in tiebreakers for the last playoff spot. If the Chargers were to lose out and Kansas City was to win out. Yeah. And the Chargers are real good at doing that to their fans. So I hope that doesn't happen. But I also hope that they win this weekend and then not next weekend. Because if they win this weekend, I believe they're in still.
The Chargers?
Yeah, I think so. I think it gets them to 11 wins, and that'll
Well,
be enough.
they're 9-4 right now. So
They're 9-4.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. So 10. Yeah, 10 should be enough. 9 won't be. I actually thought they were 10-3. So
yeah, it feels like they should be. I mean, they've definitely blown a couple of games, but
yes, they did.
Ray, you ready to talk
Yeah,
about
you know,
your Rams here?
On the Rams side, you know, things they went down pretty much like we expected it to, right? I mean, we called that out last week. I thought they would win by 14. I think they did. I didn't say it out loud because I didn't want anyone to hold my feet to the fire on it, to be completely honest, but that's what I was feeling. Yeah, and then we got who do we got coming up? Let me see here.
Seattle.
Seattle? Is it Seattle this week?
Not this weekend.
No, Detroit.
It's Detroit at home, so it's the homecoming for Jared Goff.
Yeah, I don't think is Detroit. Everybody's kind of getting familiar with Detroit's go-on-4 scheme.
They played really well in Dallas. The thing that won them the game in Dallas, like beyond the kickoff returns, which it's funny because I've seen a bunch of stuff about that. The Cowboys have put effort into altering their kickoff coverage as a result of the game. Their defensive line. Their defensive line wrecked the game. And the Cowboys have a better offensive line than the Rams do. So that concerns me from the Rams' perspective.
Well, I don't think Detroit will rattle Stafford.
Not that they'll rattle Stafford. They didn't rattle Dak. That wasn't it. Dak still, like on the week, Dak was still the highest rated quarterback, PFF.
Right, but I think the Rams getting to Goff will rattle Detroit.
Like, quietly,
right?
Dak deserves to be the MVP this year.
So I
without him, the Cowboys might not win a game. Like they're that bad.
He said Dak deserves MVP. I'm sorry.
He does.
No,
Like the Cowboys might be 0-13 without him.
Yeah, but that's really not how that award works.
I know. I know. It isn't. It always.
Yeah, you have to be leading your team to like a championship game or something.
No, because that's not when the award gets voted on.
The voting happens in the playoffs.
No, it doesn't. It happens in December.
That was like the first or second week of the playoffs. Are you sure?
Yes, very sure.
Right.
Even at that, though, I mean, like, he's not even leading him into the playoffs. Right?
Yeah, it goes to the team who they think is going to, make a big
It
run in the
always
playoffs
goes
then.
to the team. It always ends up going to a team that has a great win-loss record and a quarterback with good stats. That always happens. But Dak has excellent stats. Like, and if you look at the metrics, like consistency-wise, game after game after game, like he's been incredible. He just has.
Yeah. But he's not going to get MVP.
No, probably not.
Probably not.
Probably not. If the Cowboys make the playoffs, he will.
I remember there was a couple years ago where Colin Cowherd was trying to make the argument of that, like, MVP should go to the player that's making the biggest impact to the team, and nobody bought into it.
No one ever does, and it's interesting because it's like, we're talking about MVP, and I had this thought this week about MVP in fantasy, right? And so, is the MVP of your fantasy team the guy or the MVP of fantasy? Let's say like instead of being like your team, like just the team that wins, and then you decide the best player on that team, and that player was obviously the MVP, right? But like if the league was voting on a fantasy most valuable player, like, would it be best to look at the cumulative stats of the season, or would it be best to look at who performed, like, in clutch time, like weeks 15 through 17, or even if you wanted to stretch that out, you say weeks 14 through 17, the last week where you have your winning in, and then the playoffs, like the guys that when you needed it the most, like that guy like was the most valuable, because like.
Right. When you listen to like award shows and stuff after the season, on your fantasy podcasts or whatever, that's who it's going to.
It's going to the guys that had all
had the big games at the right moments. It's beautiful to win that game in week 3 because of so and so, going off for 45 points. But is that the league MVP? Is that the one everyone remembers? No, it's the one that happens in week 16 and wins everybody, their championship game.
In one of my leagues, it's a Dynasty tight end premium. The reigning champion went up against Kyle Pitts last night.
Ooh.
56 points.
Ooh, baby. That's a big total.
he had Bijan.
Dude.
So he has
That's
Bijan.
almost a wash.
No.
Well, no.
It was still 26 points.
But at least he had Bijan.
At least
he had,
yeah. At least he had Bijan. But his opponent is now projected to beat him by like 30 points or something. But yeah, Kyle Pitts last night was insane. That was awesome, and that was kind of my point. Was like if Kyle Pitts has 56, like he's clearly going to be a league winner this week. Like he's going to be a week winner, in your matchup this week. It's gonna be tough to lose if you'd started Kyle Pitts. If he has, even if they're not week winning, like 30 points, but let's say he has back-to-back 15-plus point games. Isn't that kind of an MVP? Like, he comes out of nowhere. Because I mean, people have been he's been startable here and there.
But see, you had to have been playing him the whole
time.
And
he was good enough that you couldn't have ever, like, there was at no point could you have cut Kyle Pitts this year.
No, but you might have sat him on the bench.
You might have sat him on your bench, but he was there.
But he was there. Sat him on the bench when he scored.
And
50,
I don't think so. No, I don't think so. No, I don't. There's no way with London out that you sat Pitts last night. No way.
I don't think
there's no way. Mooney's been terrible.
I hear you.
How did he do? How did Pitts do last night?
50. Okay,
just best tight end performance of all time for fantasy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, 50 points.
It was so. That was a tight end premium. It was.
Did anybody in our league start him?
He's on. He's not in the playoffs. He's on Wadabezi's team.
Wadabezi.
Yeah.
Oh man. That's why Wadabezi ain't in here right now.
45.6, 11 catches, 166 yards, and 3 touchdowns.
Best tight end performance of all fantasy time. So, yeah.
And here's the thing. Last week, 6 for 90.
Right.
Week before, 7 for 82.
Yeah, no, he's been doing good. He's been, like, you probably should be starting him, but
and
he's one of those
he has one,
you might
two,
have
three,
somebody you're rotating.
And he
with.
has and he had a week stretch. He had a month long where he didn't score 8 points. There was a month stretch, 4 straight weeks where he didn't score 8 points.
That'll sour you on
but
somebody.
Before that, he had 6 out of 7 performances where he scored 7.5 or more, and 4 of those were 12.5 or more. So he was somebody that there's no way that you cut him.
No, I acquired him in Dynasty
you
this year.
You probably got excited at the Jets and started him against Seattle, and we're like, yes. And then so when you started him again, there's no way that Kyle Pitts owners didn't start him last night.
And you got a bye this week?
No way.
And how are you feeling about your matchup this week?
Who's he playing?
Depends on,
That's why I asked.
know what? It depends on what I can talk you into doing over the next couple hours.
I don't know. I don't really have a great roster. As a matter of fact, I picked up Phillip Rivers just for a laugh.
I saw that, and I got it. So
I was like, just in case he does great, and somebody's like, I need a quarterback.
Before we
can look up Phillip Rivers, and he's on a lineup. And I also have another quarterback on the lineup too. There's nobody out there to pick up.
Yeah,
actually, I like quarterback this week on the waiver wire. Actually, there's Mariota.
No, I mean just in general, like
to
hold on to 2 quarterbacks.
In
there's
the
nothing
other
really
positions in our league, it's dry. We are that league where it's like, not in my league. That guy is not available. He has not. No, that guy. No, we've known about that guy for a couple weeks. We've been waiting to play him. Like, or he no, he got started last week. We knew that was going to happen.
Right.
So yeah, he's not on
Somebody
the waiver.
had an idea.
Yeah, he's not on the waiver wire. Not only is he not on the waiver wire because of because he had a good performance last week. Someone cashed in our league on that performance, and most times, like it is a competitive league, dude. It's very good. The start sit percentage in our league is so much higher than it is in my dynasty leagues. So much higher, and some of that, and I'm not counting the people who are tanking.
Right.
So
in
I
the
want to
dynasty
say,
leagues.
before we jump into some matchups, I was so happy when the Colts signed Phillip Rivers. Because it started so many things. First of all, for me personally, like as somebody, I'm invested in Tyler Warren this season. I believe strongly that Phillip Rivers will be able to get him the football. I don't know if he'll be able to get the football to Michael Pittman, or I'm definitely not confident in Alec Pierce.
But it's either going to go to Warren or Taylor on every play.
Yeah, that's what I think.
I feel that way too.
I kind of feel like we're about to have like Warren's highest target number yet.
I know, and I've got 4 leagues going right now, and 2 I've got a bye right now, and in 2 I have to play, and which is kind of a shame because I was number 1 seed in one of these. They don't
The
have
fact that
any
you're
buys.
in playoffs in 4 leagues, though.
Right, and was first, second, and third. So I'm having one of those years. Now I just got to pull it all together here at the end, or else it just didn't matter.
Right. Yeah.
And so I've got
I don't know.
Warren
Making the
on one of
playoffs
those
to me
teams,
kind of mattered.
And it's the way that they've got weird rules in that league. So it's basically I'm starting.
Is
Warren,
that the yardage one?
Yes.
Okay.
It's Warren or Gadsden this week.
They get a point per yard in that league.
Point per yard.
So
And
essentially,
there's other weird stuff
it's
too.
Essentially, it's like a 10x multiplier.
So at the beginning of all our seasons, Ken, you rank our giraffes. I don't remember what you ranked me. Did you remember what you ranked me? I think what did I end at 5th right now?
Let's see.
I'm at 5.
Okay. Yeah.
I think I'm ranked 5.
Yeah, because Ken's 6. So right?
Okay, yeah, there you go. So I ranked 5, and I felt like I started off horribly. Yeah, okay. So I feel like I kind of started off horribly. So kind of pull off that was kind of fun for me.
What was I ranked?
1.
Oh, okay. You're a smart man.
Yeah, and I ranked Nico number 2.
And he is. Yeah.
And he finished. He ended up finishing.
say-
He faded at the last 2 weeks.
I was going to say I thought Rhino Ballers.
And Rhino Ballers
Out of
is-
nowhere. Do we
yeah.
know him, or is he internet join?
He's a friend of Shady's, so like I actually don't know him personally,
But he's connected.
but yeah, he's connected. I had me at number 3, the Patriots. I at number 5, I had and then number 6 I had Slim. So I had 4 of the teams in the playoffs correct.
Pretty good.
You, Brian, Nico, me, and the Patriots, and those were and they were ranked 4 of my top 5 teams.
And so Ray snuck in. Who was the other one that snuck in?
Rhino Ballers. I
Okay.
had Rhino Ballers at
Which
7,
was- yeah.
and so Rhino Ballers I had at 7, and that team is the team that picked up Travion Henderson, and he has Jahmyr Gibbs and JSN.
Nice.
And so,
Yeah,
that was the thing, is
JSN
like
is
his
just-
team, and he has Josh Jacobs. So his team looked good at the beginning, but that was, no one was predicting that JSN was going to have the year that he's having. Like, I thought he was going to be good,
but not
but-
this
but
good. Oh my god!
I didn't.
Yeah.
And that was my thing. Was I said was that I think that I didn't feel like he had a true number 1 receiver on his team.
but boy, were you wrong.
Boy, was I wrong. Yeah. So, here's what I said about him. After spending so high at running back, I would have preferred some more solid choices at wide receiver, which is the only thing that brings this team down to me. JSN and Ridley for a combined 46 seems like a huge risk when he could have had Marvin Harrison Jr., Ladd McConkey, Marvin Harrison Jr. and Ladd McConkey for 45, or Waddle, DJ Moore, and Rashee Rice for 46. and Waddle and Rashee Rice, like the DJ Moore part is kind of a wash, but Waddle and Rashee Rice are definitely worth the 46.
Oh, for sure.
And then and McConkey and Harrison Jr. are also like right now, like you count if we had talked about this like 3 weeks ago, Harrison Jr. and McConkey for that number is absolutely worth it, but and JSN is by himself.
By himself.
Because I was right about Ridley. Yeah. Ridley was nothing.
That's funny. I wonder, who's his number 2 now? Who do you get to? Because obviously it's not Ridley.
And I think that's where his team still struggles.
Is finding a number 2.
Is that receiver?
Yeah.
Sorry. We're.
Well, we're in a league with three receivers, PPR, and a flex. So.
We start 10 positions. We have it's 1 quarterback, 2 running back, 3 receiver, tight end, flex, kicker, defense.
Is there a way? Yeah. To pick a defensive player?
Yeah, they're called IDP leagues. IDP, individual defensive player, and so you choose however many slots you want to have dedicated to individual defensive players, and then they score based on tackles, interceptions, sacks.
Yeah.
Neat.
So I traded him his wide receiver 2. He didn't have one.
Who'd you give him?
Devontae Adams.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah.
Devontae Adams
feels like a mistake.
And so, it's all touchdowns. It's all touchdowns.
Obviously, yeah.
And I mean, so I wasn't wrong about that. It's just that since I traded him, he had
he didn't know it was going to be 2 a game.
Yeah. Right. And I only got 1 of those multi-touchdown games.
That's funny.
And so I did not see that coming. And so obviously my team would be much better with Devontae Adams, and his team would be much worse without him. But whatever.
Yeah, it's fantasy football. You cannot predict it.
Right.
You can try, but man, weird
it's still
things happen.
Week 15. Okay.
Yeah.
We're not done.
Not done.
We're not done.
We
don't know exactly what's going to happen. Every single year, unexpected superstars
are
born in the fantasy playoffs.
That's a good time to take it
to the rest of the season. Here we
go. All right, we're about to do
the Bowmore.
All right.
Because Brian thought KC was going to win.
Silly me.
The division.
Silly you.
Don't spit it out.
It's bad.
That medicine flavor. Oh.
Yeah.
Gasoline.
Yeah, that's what it tasted like to me. It was like
gasoline.
Fuel.
Oh, it's got the fuel aftertaste.
Yeah.
I better wash it down.
That's punishment.
Okay, while he's doing that, we'll just go ahead and start. Yeah, he did. We'll just go ahead and start it off. So first up, we have Cleveland at Chicago. Cleveland's plus 7.5, over-unders 38.5, plus 300 if you're betting on the Browns, minus 380 if you're betting on the Bears.
How about that, Shadur Sanders, huh?
Yeah, you know what? Since it's perfect time to talk about that guy. And I went on a work trip, spent a lot of time with the team, and one of the questions that was asked was, what's going on with Sanders? With, what do I think about it, right? And I understand they did something to him at this game, right? They pulled him out on that Wildcat or something like that, and so it's causing controversy. They don't want him to shine.
Oh no, I don't think that. That I don't think.
That's some conspiracy theory stuff.
So I think actually, if you watch what happened, the play call was actually good. Judkins just fucked it up. Because if you watch the play, the receiver that's running the reverse that doesn't get thrown to, because Judkins takes the snap, moves to his right, receiver comes across, right? Judkins doesn't toss him the ball. As he continues on, receiver goes like this. In the middle of the play, receiver throws hands up what the F, man. And so and he would have scored easily. Easily. It was a good call. It was a good call. So
you could tell it's one of those plays that they had because they don't know what their quarterback's going to be this year, and so they have to have like good plays worked up for these crazy
Thank you.
situations.
Exactly.
And so this is one of those plays. It's like, okay, well, we've been working on this. This should work, and they threw it, and they
Right.
threw it in,
And you call your best play,
and
you
it
call
just
the play
happened to
that you
be
think
that
is going to work.
it took Sanders
And
off
so
the
I don't
field.
have a problem with that. And
But it's just because Sanders hasn't been involved in the offense as long.
And just to clarify, we all know that I am a believer in Shadur Sanders. I'm a true believer. I've been on his fan base since the draft happened. To be honest with you, I've been aware of him and I've been a fan of him for a while, for a couple of years now. I'm watching him play in Colorado. I didn't watch him very much before he transferred, but watching him once Dion took over the Colorado program, I'm a fan. I've been a fan of him for a while, and so when the draft happened, I was personally offended for him because it was outrageous. It was absolutely outrageous because all they did was dock his pay for the first couple of years, essentially. Because instead of getting what he deserved, which was probably a second round payday, he's getting a fourth round payday or fifth. Fifth, I think.
Yeah, fifth.
Yeah, he's a fifth rounder, and that's a huge difference.
Huge difference.
Huge difference in pay,
But
so
from all reports, he brought it upon himself.
I don't agree with that. To me, this is payback for his dad. Because when Dion,
I don't think so. Like, what NFL manager is going to be out there? Oh, you screwed Deion Sanders. I'm not going to take that quarterback that's going to make my team better.
Do you know who owns these franchises?
I kind of
the guy. Do you know who owns these franchises? How old is Bob Kraft? How old is Jerry Jones? How old is Mark Davis? How old are the Rooney's?
But unless you're Jerry Jones, you're not running that draft.
No, they run the whole league, dude. Do you realize that the league goes
and
through?
They're just like, screw that.
Let me
guy.
finish. The league.
I don't like
The league goes through a near shutdown every couple of years because of collective bargaining agreements, because the players are trying to take another inch from the owners and all the money that they make, and because the amount of money, like we see the amount of money that players make, we see all that.
Right. Well. Okay, so
but you don't see the amount of money that the owners make.
What did Sanders do to piss off 32 owners?
Oh, so Deion Sanders, what Deion Sanders did back in the draft in '89, I believe it was he refused interviews with teams that were picking below a certain point, and that certain point was like pick 8. Or pick 9, and he made it known that he didn't want to go to certain places, and he got drafted 4th overall.
Okay, and Eli Manning had a similar
that was 89
situation, and
89 almost what?
It just
And you think owners are
years
holding
ago
a grudge from that?
They do. People do. They do. They do. They do. They absolutely do. And
why would Jerry Jones hold a grudge?
Yeah, 32 owners don't.
The reason that I think that is because.
But why wouldn't?
And I don't think it's conspiracy. I don't think it's conspiracy that they were like trying to hold him down, because, like I said, at the end of the day, all they did was reduce his pay for a couple of years.
But why wouldn't Jerry Jones take him then? Jerry Jones would be pissed by that.
As a Cowboys fan, I was wanting them to do it in round 3. And like when we got through round 2,
right? But why would that make Jerry Jones mad?
No, I'm not saying it made Jerry Jones mad. And the Cowboys may not have drafted a quarterback just because they didn't want to draft a quarterback. The Cowboys have a really bad. Actually, it's funny because the Cowboys are a really bad example because they have actually a really bad track record. Like people are enamored with some of the draft picks that they've made because they've turned out to be people like Micah Parsons and Tyler Smith and Tyler Booker and CeeDee Lamb, stuff like that. And then they don't look at rounds 2 through 4. When we whiff on all these players that we take out of positional need rather than just taking the best player on the board. And someone had actually just this week had done like a write-up on like the last, it was like there were like 8 picks that the Cowboys made over the last 5 years in rounds 2 through 4 that were just horrendous.
And Stan Kroenke wasn't around. And Stan Kroenke wasn't around in '89. To get mad about it.
I'm just saying again.
And we need a backup. We need a strong quarterback on the Rams.
But you also don't
potential quarterback.
But you also the thing about Shadur Sanders in particular is that you're not just drafting a backup quarterback. It's not the same as just drafting a backup quarterback. Because of who he is, there's a whole circus that comes along
that's
with
true.
it.
And there definitely is
And
a
it's
circus that comes.
It's true,
with
but
it.
I'm not saying like primarily a backup, but like you have time to like develop him on the Rams.
And let me say this: like, I don't watch much college, but Colorado fascinated me with their story and everything. And so every time I could, I watched one of their games. And every time I saw Shedeur Sanders play, I was like, it was fun. It was backyard football, but I was never impressed by him. Like it seemed like he was good at making a play happen, kind of thing with his legs. But everything I saw about him in college made me go, well, that's not going to work in the
See, that's interesting to me because that's what I said about Caleb Williams, and actually what I like about Shedeur Sanders is that Shedeur Sanders is much more willing to stand in the pocket and take a hit and deliver the football. Caleb Williams won't do that.
Does he look like he throws a good football to you?
He doesn't have the strongest arm, but his arm is strong enough. You realize that he has the longest completed air yards this year?
No, but
Shedeur Sanders has the longest completed pass through the air.
He's just making an argument on why he should got picked sooner.
I'm just saying.
And that's not a thing. Like the entire league realizes that he should have gone sooner. He should have been a second round pick, maybe a late round first. But still, there's a reason why he went that late.
And I don't think it was because of a grudge.
I think it's because I've said this on this podcast many times. I think the NFL is much more of a like elitist boys club than people realize. I really do think that it is. I think that I think that they are willing to make decisions that aren't in the best interest of winning because they don't care, because they are winning.
Yeah, but I think
they're cashing all your checks.
I don't think it was because of a grudge. I think it was because
I didn't say
maybe history repeats itself. Maybe it was like, oh, here we go. He's not taking interviews. His dad didn't take interviews.
If it was a grudge, if it was some sort of a grudge, to me, that would have been him not getting drafted at all. That would have been what the NFL's done to Colin Kaepernick. But that's a grudge.
No, Colin Kaepernick.
What about all the reports of him?
That's a whole nother animal.
That's a grudge.
But seriously, wait. But him going into all these interviews and sucking. And going in and like them asking like, what would you do in this situation? And he would either answer something incredibly stupid or wouldn't answer. Like I've heard really disturbing reports about his interviews. And made me think like he just did not have the brain for it, and maybe he's got the instincts for it, but not the brain. Honestly, I would bet against Shedeur Sanders as a quarterback in the NFL long term.
Can we make a bet on that?
Yeah. But it's long term. It's got to be over the next 3 year kind of thing. But,
all right, so I say Shedeur Sanders.
I would definitely bet against.
So Shedeur Sanders has been named the starting quarterback for the rest of the season for the Cleveland Browns. I am comfortable saying that Shedeur Sanders is not going to lose that starting job
for 3 years.
Until when?
He's not going to lose that starting job. He might choose to leave, but he's not going to lose that starting job.
I mean, I will bet against him being a starting quarterback.
That's one. And I'm saying, I'm saying he's not going to
lose one next year.
I'm saying he's not going to lose it. So this is a bet you can collect on as soon as they say, "Hey, we're starting this guy instead of Sanders."
All right. What amount of time though? What amount of time? Like I say, this is a long-term thing for me. Like I think that they're going to give him every shot in the world next year, and he's going to be the guy.
So let's put
for
hold
8,
on.
9, 10
so
games.
Hold on a second. Okay, let's make sure that we
gotta
work this out.
You gotta be rational about this because, like we're just talking about on the way over here with the Buccaneers. What if the wheels fall off and they lose out? They're not long-term committed to Baker Mayfield. Okay. Is Baker Mayfield not a starting level quarterback if the Buccaneers choose to go another direction next year? Because they
if they go another direction, then he will still be a starter on another team.
Starter.
As long as he's a starter for a team, that's good enough.
Okay, well, but how long does he need to maintain that before he gains your respect? Because
I was putting 3 years out.
So hold on. So
3 years.
3 years. So at the end of his third year.
If he's a starting quarterback at the end of the third year,
so
through 2028.
No, not through. He needs to be a starting quarterback week 1 of 2028.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. I'll
Yeah.
take that.
Cool.
Yeah,
So
no, that's a good
through-
way to do it. I like it.
2027.
Put a Bowmore on that.
And
I'll put a double Bowmore on
First-
there.
Feeling frisky. That's years in advance.
2028.
We're going to be out of Bowmore
Okay,
by then.
so-
We're not
Yeah.
buying another one.
Yeah, well, you know what?
Hold on.
We're gonna be mid-season next year, and he's be
Hold
like,
on.
you know what? I'm just gonna take one now.
For
I don't want to do it double.
caveat one,
Injuries.
injury.
Yeah, like a brutal injury, like something like
Year-long injury.
something that
Well, an injury that takes him out of the game into the following game. They're playing it safe in the next game, and so he gets a play it safe, game sit, bench. But by then he needs to start again.
No, I'm saying like in order for an injury to come into factor in this bet, like he would have to be injured
be
for
like-
a year.
yeah,
It would have to be a year-long injury. It'd
Yeah.
have to be like an Achilles or a
and in that case we
MCL
push
or-
it back a year.
yeah.
And then- okay.
Right.
But hold on. What if he gets an injury
So
for
the,
1
the,
year
The caveat
or
would be,
1 day or 1 game?
No.
Yeah, those don't
matter.
Nothing, no.
Like if he owes okay.
Yeah.
No.
All right.
If that
what if
no.
he's healthy but
So
on the
if that-
bench?
no,
But
did
he
you hear the
he
end of the
just
bet?
had been sat.
I don't think you heard the end of the bet. What we decided on is for the bet is day 1
Yeah,
in
week
28. If he is the starter
yeah.
of a team, then he wins.
2028 week 1.
And if he's not a starter, I win.
Yes.
So
Right.
just
That's
week
it.
1
And
of
the-
28.
Okay.
And
But
then-
this is a caveat. Okay.
Right.
So we need
and
to.
the caveat would be a season-ending injury in between now
Or
and
if
then.
there was like a preseason injury and he was going to be the starter,
Right.
like,
Okay.
I would
okay.
still give you
I'm
that.
trying to help you, Brian. I'm trying to help you because this guy likes his caveats. If he gets injured,
I like caviar, not caveats.
if he gets injured and he's out for a game, could possibly play the next game. He's on the sidelines, padded up, right? They still got him benched though because he is still lingering with that injury, is what they tell us. But he's suited up, so
JJ
it's
McCarthy
like,
style.
huh?
JJ McCarthy style.
Yeah.
He's injured, but he's not injured.
And so it's
No.
still
I
part
lose.
of the same.
I lose at that point.
Huh?
Yes.
Yeah.
No. Oh, yes. No. I will concede.
Right.
Okay.
This is
Yes.
Okay.
I will
think
not
there's
be
a
trying
spirit
to.
to this.
Yeah. There is a spirit to this. I will not.
basically, is he a number one? You know, is he in one of the top 32
Okay.
quarterbacks in the league after 2 years?
Let's look at it this way. Like if we had made this bet on Spencer Rattler last year, at this point I'd be going,
Okay.
okay,
he's
okay.
done. Yeah.
Well, no, I mean,
All right, that's fine. Caveat
so
2.
I'd be worried. Well, so that's actually, now that I brought that up, that one's super interesting because the team's so bad. The team's so bad, and Spencer Rattler is actually really not one of he's not amongst the lowest rated quarterbacks in the NFL.
He'll be a solid number 2
bad.
somewhere next year.
Like he was above Mahomes in a bunch of different metrics. The team is just bad. Like I think I still think that he gets another chance to play for a team. There's plenty of jobs.
as a number 2,
I don't think he'll be number 2. I think he'll get a chance to compete for number 1 spot.
he'll be a backup.
Yeah,
We can bet on that one too.
So do we have any other caveats other than injury? I thought I had one in my head, but it floated away.
No, I think yeah, like I said, this is we understand the spirit of the bet. I think we're okay.
That's pretty much
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I'm picking Chicago. I'm gonna put this
Oh,
here
yeah.
because I know it won't move.
We're picking
It's
games.
in Chicago, right? This is supposed to be like this is a crazy game. It's supposed to be like one of the coldest games all time.
Yes,
in,
like top
Soldier
5 or
Field.
something
Wait,
like
oh,
that.
hold
yeah.
on. This is for only one Bowmore? This is like
No, double. This is a double,
Well, we
right?
said double, but we don't even know if we're going to have any Bowmore left by that point. So we'll have to figure out.
Well,
the
if
punishments
we
as we
turn
go.
enough people off of it, they may cancel it. They may stop making it.
Well, I'm just saying, are we when we run out of this bottle, are we going to go buy another one?
We probably
really?
should.
We're going to spend $70 on shit. Like we can just go out and buy some what is it called, Evan Wilson or what Evan Williams? Or
God, Evan
just
Wil-
something out of a plastic bottle. Like drink this.
T-Dov.
Yes.
I think
T-Dov vodka.
I'd say
I
so
think that's
2025
Pop off.
through
That's what it is.
2028.
Pop off vodka.
That's got to be worth the triple.
No, I agree. Yeah. Triple.
So-
Go triple.
Oh, good God.
Triple
It's-
of something bad.
It's a 3-year bet. It's a triple
Oh, good God. All right. I
on
got-
Sanders. You
you got-
got to start like you're second guessing yourself.
No,
now, huh?
no, I'm not. I was thinking about taking 3 shots, and I was like, wait a minute. I've got Shedeur Sanders. Okay.
Good on you.
We're good.
Good luck to you, sir.
Yeah. Good luck.
All right, I'll take Chicago as well.
Because, and it's not even, okay, so we all picked Chicago. Before I move on, it's not even about Sanders at this point. The Browns just might make a bad call on this and sit him just because they cycle through quarterbacks.
And that's what I was saying about Spencer Rattler with the Saints, is that it wasn't even that he was playing bad football. There was just nothing going on around him.
The other caveat I had was they sit him because they're doing so good. They don't need to play him like they're in the playoffs.
But this is the first game of the fall. Well, we're still talking about the first game of the next year of the 28 season. So that wouldn't be affected.
Well, everyone in between too.
Well, no. What we had decided is at the beginning of the 28 season, if he is a starter, that's how we determine.
So he doesn't have to start the games in between.
Stuff in between doesn't matter. It's like at that season, that's what matters.
Week 1, 2028. If Shadur Sanders is starting for somebody, he doesn't even have to be starting in Cleveland.
Got it. Okay, he doesn't have to be a starter in between either.
But he has to be someone's chosen starter for Week 1. Oh, that's the other caveat. Yeah. The other caveat. Here you go.
Chosen starter. Yes.
I'm going to help you out. He can't get the job because of an injury.
Because of it, yeah.
He can't. So an injury pushes it back if it happens to him, and he can't get the job in 2028 because of an injury. So it can't be like a Kurt Warner situation.
Okay.
As awesome as that could be.
Moving on. Baltimore at Cincinnati.
We all picked Chicago, right?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yep.
Baltimore's -2.5. Over under is 51.5. -148 if you're betting on the Ravens. Plus 124 if you're betting on the Bengals. And I picked the Bengals for this. The Baltimore's just not showing up.
That's funny. I picked the Bengals too.
I'm taking the Bengals too, but I'm also
underdog.
I'm on Team Burrow, and
how are they
he came back to save my season.
He came back, and I was kind of waiting for one game of fluff, and it just didn't happen. He just came back.
Yep.
No, he came back pissed.
He just came back.
He came back with that look in his eye. Joe Burrow is a scary dude. When he gets that look, he's a scary dude. He's got that
he can definitely be impressive.
And he's got that Brady look, when he just goes
except
Terminator mode
with the frosted tips.
Right. Well, Brady did that for a while though. No. Remember, Brady was a hair dude for a while. And you know what? What's funny about that is if you've seen pictures of his his first Super Bowl, you could tell Brady was going bald already. And then he never did.
When you got millions of dollars, there's no reason to go bald.
Right. And I remember
through genetics,
in his mid-30s or whatever, he became a hair model. But no, Joe Burrow. It's funny too how much I always think of Macaulay Culkin because they did that. I don't know if you saw it. I'm sure I've brought it up before. They did that. It was like a Halloween thing or something like that. It was a costume thing. Burrow did Macaulay Culkin, and Macaulay Culkin did Burrow.
Oh, I did see something. Yeah. I did see that.
It was pretty uncanny.
So we all went Bengals. All right.
Yeah.
Next up,
Burrow.
Cardinals at Houston Texans.
Real quick, I got to say this real quick.
Okay.
He was in a bad matchup last week, right? In the snow.
Mm-hmm.
In the snow at Buffalo. For my fantasy life, right? For my season, I had to choose between starting him or starting Tyrod Taylor. At 9:58, I had Tyrod Taylor in my starting lineup.
I can't believe you had him in there.
I was this close.
Oh, that's crazy to me.
And then I told myself, no, I'm not gonna. There's no way I could do that. We've talked about that before. Sometimes it's more about
I can't believe you're that close.
What you could live with, in terms of losing. And there was no way I could live with losing with Burrow on my bench.
Right. And start Tyrod Taylor, who's got a ceiling of 19 points.
Right.
But why would you do that?
But there was. If you saw did you watch the game? They couldn't see the field at the beginning, and sometimes that works out for the benefit of the offense. But most of the time, that's the running game,
for sure,
not the passing game.
Yep.
And T. Higgins dropped for as great a game as he did have, he dropped a bunch of balls. There were a lot of body catches that had to be made. But I'll tell you what, who was still amazing was Joe Burrow, all the way up until the end. I felt so bad the way that game ended, and we'll talk about the Bills later, but I was much more impressed with how the Bills held together in that game than what happened than depressed by what happened to the Bengals at the end of it. Those are two really good football teams. The Bengals are a good football team
that aren't going to make the playoffs.
They could. They still can.
So next up, Cardinals at Houston. Cardinals plus 9.5. Over under is 42.5. Plus 410 if you're betting on the Cardinals. Minus 550 if you're betting on the Texans. Yeah.
Hard to bet on the Cardinals here. I mean, Houston's on a roll heading into the playoffs. Arizona is just kind of floundering.
So Arizona's been floundering for a while. I think that people are just
feel like they've found their quarterback.
People have just been enamored. Like, it's okay. I don't think so. You
don't think he's their starter next year?
No, I don't. I do not. And I like Jacoby Brissett. And you know, to steal your line from Rattler, he's a good backup. He's a great backup. He's not a starting quarterback. If you've been watching, so if you're just watching the fantasy box scores, it's been fantastic. Like, there's a running back that scores 10 points every week. Michael Wilson has turned into Randy Moss, and Jacoby Brissett is, I don't even know what to compare him to right now because I can't really think of
Sam Darnold.
Ryan Fitzpatrick. It's Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Okay.
That's what it is. That's what's going on right now. It's that he's a solid veteran quarterback that doesn't give an F anymore and is just going to chuck it. Like he knows where he's supposed to put the ball, and no one expects him to keep the job long term anyway. So just go out there and just chuck it. And he's never done this before in his career. And Fitzpatrick was similar. He got to a certain point, like his mid-30s or something like that, and he just said, "Screw it. I'm gonna come in here. We're just gonna wing it. I'm just gonna throw the ball. I'm just gonna give my guys a shot to make plays." And the thing that people aren't noticing is the Cardinals are still losing by 30 every week.
No, very true.
And the games are awful. It's not until usually what happens is somewhere around the mid third quarter, the teams are up by 3+ scores, the other team, and then they just go into prevent defense. And they're just trying to run, and not even
so a lot of those stats are padded. You're saying,
and it's not even like a prevent defense. It's a run the clock down defense. We're gonna we just want to keep you in bounds, and we want to just keep the clock running. Is the plan, and the best way to do that is to let them just complete passes and just tackle them. And so, and if you've noticed, Michael Wilson is killing it. But it's on 15 catches, 100 and some yards, and no touchdowns because they're not scoring. And the numbers for Brissett are great, but it's on almost 50 attempts a game and 2 touchdowns. So you're not getting those spike, 40-point weeks. Even with the 2 interceptions that Burrow threw at the end of the game, he was 33 points. In 6-point per passing touchdown leagues last week. You're not going to get those games out of Brissett. That's not going to happen. And this offense isn't something what they're doing is successful for fantasy right now, but is not something that you even want to begin to build your team around.
You're saying he's more of a Jameis Winston than a Sam Darnold. You know what I mean?
Yes.
He's not somebody that's turned the corner and been all this much better. Right. He's just weighing it down the field and kind of getting lucky.
I think he's just going to be. I think he's just going to be Jameis Winston, Ryan Fitzpatrick, Joe Flacco, right now. I think he's gonna have a career like that for the next 5 or 6 years, where it's just he's going to be on a bad team. You're not going to know about it until their quarterback goes down. They're going to throw Brissett in, and then all of a sudden, someone's going to become fantasy relevant. And you're going to be like, yes, we love Jacoby Brissett. And I can just see that happening over the next 5 years.
I do too. I do wish that Brissett had some more time with Harrison in there. With Harrison, Michael Wilson, and McBride. And just to kind of see what happens. But Harrison's been hurt, so we haven't really got to see that. I'd really like to see what because that to me tells me what's going to happen next year with Brissett. Because right now everyone's saying, and I feel like Brissett might be the guy next year because it's not going to be Kyler Murray.
The only way Brissett is the guy next year is if they're not able to get the quarterback that they want in the first round, and they have to draft a bridge.
Now, I
quarterback.
totally agree with that. And it looks like they're going to have the record that they're probably not going to get one of the top 3 picks. And so if they're not getting a top 3 pick, then you might as well take the best player on the board and go from there.
Arizona.
3-10.
They're 3. No, they're still alive for the number 1 because the Giants have it right now, and the Giants are 3-10.
They're 2-11.
Okay, yeah. Oh, they'll be 3-11 after this weekend.
I thought there were two
And then
oh,
the
and
Cardinals
then
are gonna be
Tennessee
4.
as well. Tennessee only has
The
2
Cardinals
wins.
are not going to win.
The Cardinals are not going to win. So
The Cardinals are not going to win. Houston's going to win. Houston looks awesome.
2-12.
Oh, Houston.
Yeah, and we probably shouldn't talk about Cardinals very much more. Probably should move on from them, huh?
Because they suck.
Yeah.
Good plan.
And nothing fantasy. Well, fantasy relevant on the other side. Woody Marks, yes, and Dalton Schultz is a good play this weekend. Yeah, you can start all your Texans. Jaden Higgins,
Yep.
like maybe Jaden Higgins, because but it depends. If the Cardinal
Your
That's
running
your
backs.
iffy one.
Your
What's
running
the-
backs
what's
because
the
your
over-under?
Texans are going to go up so much that
right.
they're
I
going to
agree.
just start running it. That happened to Stafford. They got they just benched him.
Yeah.
They just said, "Yeah, they'll take you off." They took off the receivers. They took out just started handing
Blake
the ball
Corum
to
got
Rivers. Rivers started. They took out the running backs. The Rivers started running it.
They even took out Corum. That's right. It was the Ronnie Rivers show. So yeah, Houston by a lot in this game, I think.
Yep. Next up, New York Giants at Jacksonville Jaguars. Let me get the game up.
New York Jets.
New York Jets
Big
at
difference.
Jacksonville
Well,
Jaguars.
not really.
Well, this week.
Jets are plus.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Jets are plus 13.5. Over under is 41.5. Plus 625 if you're betting on the Jets. Minus 950 if you're betting on the Jags.
God help you if you're playing against the Jags defense this week.
I picked the Jags to win last week. Oh, thank you guys for that, Lone Wolf.
Hey, whoa. There should be caveats there, dude. Like when our quarterback goes down for a season-ending injury to an Achilles in the second quarter
They still
of a
weren't doing
one-score game.
Yeah, that hurt.
What about all the other Lone Wolves?
Yeah.
All right.
You're killing it this season on the picks.
Hey,
You're right.
you're having a good year. I also took gambles.
Yeah, you did
I
because
was
you guys are
very-
trying to play catch up.
I was
understand
clearly
that.
taking gambles last week. That wasn't one of them, though. That was not one of them.
He owns it.
Like,
He's stealing it.
that one I felt good about, and when up until the point where Daniel Jones got hurt, I still felt pretty good about it.
Same.
I feel like the Colts were falling off a little bit before that though.
Before
He got injured.
it was
they were
after
slowing
he got
down.
hurt.
in the game.
They
I
were
mean, they
slowing down.
definitely. Jacksonville definitely had the advantage, but I don't think it was a
Agreed.
big one at that point. Still
Agreed.
going into the half,
Yeah.
still a 1-point or 1-score game. It was.
And then when the Colts couldn't move the ball anymore, it was just over.
Yeah.
Jacksonville just imposed their will. But the first half was very competitive.
All right, so we're all going
yeah,
Jags.
I was going to say, this week,
Jacksonville, we're all on the Jags here.
and the reason why is because you cannot start a Jet this weekend. Even Brees Hall, he
No.
might get.
I got to bench
he
Brees
might
Hall.
he might touch the ball 20 times, but I can't imagine what he's going to be able to do anything.
I don't
Like
have
there's
anybody
going to
else
be
to start.
8-9 men
right.
in the box.
They're only going to be
Like-
looking at him.
Right. I mean, they're starting a third, fourth string quarterback that's just not going to be able to do anything.
What's his name?
No clue. Anybody?
There's no Justin Fields. There's no Tyrod Taylor.
Bueller? Yeah.
I did not catch his name.
Yeah. Nobody cares. He is the losing.
My only
quarterback.
option is to bench Hall and put another tight end at flex. That would be the only
I mean,
Brady
only if it's a
Cook.
premier tight end.
Brady Cook.
It's
that's his name. The quarterback that's starting for the Jets this year or this week. Brady Cook.
So that would be moving Kareem Hunt. I have Hall at my flex now, so I would have to rotate Hall out, either put Singletary in, or Gadsden from Chargers.
Can't do that. Singletary. I'm trying. What's
He's playing against Washington. But
Brees Hall is projected for 14 points.
Singletary is an interesting one because he hasn't been nearly as good on the ground as Tracy, and he's also not been getting as many targets, but he's been getting volume. Like He's had 15-ish touches, like 15, 14, 16. 15, 14, 17 the last 3 weeks.
And he's going against Washington.
So that's the thing, is it's a timeshare. I'm starting the other running back again. I'm starting Tracy.
And honestly, I think I'd rather start Singletary there.
And I don't understand that. That's crazy because in the like so
and
he
over Gadsden?
So he left early.
Gadsden for sure.
He left early.
Like it's a question between Singletary and Hall, but Gadsden he's not in a good matchup, and he hasn't been doing well for the last month or so. He just
Herbert's hurt now.
And Herbert's hurt.
And if you watch their offensive line on Monday night,
so Gadsden just isn't really a thing. But
you really still think Singletary edges out Hall?
I don't think I would start Singletary over Hall.
I don't think so.
I think it's very close.
For my fantasy playoffs, I wouldn't do it. For my fantasy playoffs, I would not do that. That's like to me that's similar to starting Tyrod Taylor over Burrow.
Like, what's it going to be like for Hall, though? Think about it.
Yeah,
like,
Breece Hall is
extrapolate this. Like, what's it going to be like for Breece Hall this week? Like, okay, he touches the ball 20 times, but he has to break something. Like, everything is going to be behind the yards. Everything's going to be behind the yards.
I think so. It's dependent upon whether or not Brady Cook is a guy who dumps the ball off. That's it. That's what we're talking about here. If Brady Cook is a guy who's willing to dump the ball off to the running back, he's still gonna have a decent game, and I would still much rather start him over Devin Singletary.
Hopefully, they both have monster games, and I can feel better about
this isn't one I want to bet on, but write this one down. I would love to come back to this one for next week just to see Singletary versus Hall. Yeah. It's curious because it's one of those things where Hall is the name.
I'll know exactly what it is.
Hall is the name. You know what I mean? You want to play Hall here. Like, and it'd be hard not to play Hall. I totally agree. But I'm just looking at it and I'm thinking the correct choice, analytically,
I don't know.
Might be Singletary.
Okay, so I've been hearing that all week,
especially against Washington.
I've been hearing that all week, and I just don't agree with it.
Washington,
based on watching the games. And, in addition to watching the box score, watching the games, Tyrone Tracy looks like the much better running back. The only thing I'm concerned about is that this is going to, that was Jackson Dart's first game back. Tracy was awesome with Winston. And Singletary was good with Winston, too. They were both good. They were both startable.
Everyone's good with Winston, man.
Yeah, right. I
love Winston.
Right, and I think that Brissett is on his way to being that way. But with Dart, they hadn't been very good. So there's also a coaching change that's taken place. They have
For the Giants?
Yeah. Kafka is the head coach now.
Oh yeah, I thought that happened a couple of weeks ago.
It was.
Oh, okay.
But there's been a bunch of moving parts in their backfield with the quarterback and the running backs because of injuries since that's all taken place. So I don't think it's a highly predictable place to be. And in that situation, if you just look at their situation from a macro level, this is a 2-11 team that has an interim head coach, and the interim head coach is going to want to win the most games possible. So he's going to want to put out the players who can perform the best. Whereas a coach, and I think Tracy is just a much better player than Singletary.
I think you could argue that he has better talent, but I don't know about. I think that Singletary might be the better player right now. With his experience, and he's always surprised. And he's always been a little bit better.
You are exactly right. You're exactly right.
Thank you.
And that's why he played as much as he did with Dable, because Dable, being a coach that needs players to just do the right thing all the time, is going to want the guy with the more experience on the field as much as possible. But I could see a world at the end of the season where that kind of, based on how they looked and before Tracy left the Patriots game, I could definitely see him just kind of taking over the workload from Singletary. Because for the future of their franchise, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to give a bunch of work.
No,
to
I hear
Devin
you, because
Singletary.
Singletary is 30, 31.
Because here's the thing. No, he's not. He's 28. Here's the thing. He's
Workhorse of the future, man.
Here's the thing. Here, if you like Singletary, fine, keep him. He'll be happy that you offered him a contract. Okay, but this kid Tracy is in his second year. He's 20. He just turned 26, I think, because he's an older rookie.
Older, yeah.
He's 20. They drafted him at 24. He turned 25 his rookie year. He turned 20. He turned 26 this year.
Red flag.
But he's like, well, right. But I mean, it's similar to Najee Harris. You know,
and
so,
he didn't turn out the way he should have either.
He had. I mean, there's.
I think we're all disappointed in Najee.
Right,
Harris.
right. But there's
not by a lot,
so many,
but
right,
but by a decent
mildly,
amount, yeah,
right,
mildly disappointed.
But some of that was just because they kept giving Jalen Warren all that work.
Because
he's
Najee
good.
was just no. Najee,
Warren's
his whole
awesome.
career was always just a little bit.
He might not be as good as
disappointing for
Gainwell.
sure.
But so from the franchise perspective, it makes sense to make sure that like you either have two running backs that you want next year, or you've got a veteran that you like and you need to draft another running back next year.
I still got plenty.
We don't because that Scadaboo injury, he's going to be gone into the start of next season.
Into next season, really?
I'm pretty sure.
You can still drink one. I just have plenty.
Yeah.
I want a beer.
Oh, gotcha.
I was getting a beer for you guys.
Oh, gotcha.
I want
Light.
I want a beer.
Yeah, so let's move on. And let's talk about the Chargers at Chiefs. The Chargers are +6. Over-under is 41.5. +215 if you're betting on the Chargers. -265 if you're betting on the Chiefs.
Ooh, this is the game.
And Chiefs don't appear to be the underdog.
No, they're not.
Game.
They are favored.
I am picking the Chargers.
I'm going to pick the Chiefs. I did not like what I saw from the Chargers on Monday night. I loved what I saw from the Eagles on Monday night, but I did not like what I saw from the Chargers on Monday night.
It would be an interesting loss for the Chargers if they lose.
They didn't deserve to win
do
that
some
game.
stuff to the playoff standings for sure.
And give Kansas City that little bit of hope to keep crushing people, but
it was nice.
And I'm going to pick Kansas City here because it does feel like it. They're at home. They're on the ropes, you know. But
if the Chargers show up with the offense that they implemented against the Eagles, they could get shut out.
Honestly, it feels like everything depends on the Kansas City O-line. The Kansas City O-line is so beat up, so rough. Like
they took more injuries too.
Yeah, exactly. They're missing 4 starters off that line of 5. You know what I mean? Like that's a big deal. It's been a big deal all season, and it just got worse last week. So
they're at that point where they don't want to play anymore, so they're faking injuries just to get off the field.
Yeah, I'm sure that's it.
I honestly think that's a thing.
I do too.
I think that's a thing. I think some of these guys are like, man, I fucking had enough, and they just take a tumble and stay down. And
that's true because some of them retire afterwards. That has happened. Like there have been like mid-season retirements over the last several years, whereas that never happened when I was younger, watching football. You never just like got to week 10 and some like you thought maybe he was washed, former superstar at 32 just goes, yeah, I'm done. But it's happened a couple times this year, right?
Who did it happen with? I didn't go as far as say they retire after, but I do feel like
I'm gonna
when the game is
like
done, all of a sudden they go down.
You guys keep talking, and I'm gonna look this up because I know there was a good one.
Well, I mean, you guys are putting your faith in KC right now, and I don't see it. Chargers are more of a playoff team going into this than Kansas City. Kansas City could, I guess, be getting mad about what everybody's saying about them, But I mean, Travis wasn't even hauling in catches he would normally haul in that last game he played, and you got him.
Zadarius Smith up and retired, and Xavier Howard, former All-Pro cornerback for the Dolphins, just up and retired. And there was a cornerback that did it last year. There was a cornerback that got he I can't remember who it was, but he got roasted one game and then just retired.
I'm out. I ain't got it no more. See ya.
I can't do it.
So if we're all good on our pick here, let's move on to Buffalo and New England.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
All right, so Buffalo and New England, right? This is an interesting game. Let me find it real quick.
Very important game.
There it is. Buffalo at New England. Buffalo's -1.5. Over under is 49.5. -120 if you're betting on the Bills. +100 if you're betting on the Patriots.
Yeah, this is one of the best games of the day. Like, there was three of them that are really good. There's this one, the Ravens-Bengals game, and then the Lions-Rams game.
Well, this one's interesting because it's like, are they going to run away with it?
The Bills?
No, New England.
No, New England. That New England run away with the division.
Oh, no, I don't think so. I think the Bills are going to win this game.
Me too. I got the Bills winning.
And I do too. The reason why is because New England has had a soft lineup up at this point. I
Yep.
mean, they haven't played the only team.
And kudos
of
to
note
them. They've smashed them.
They smashed everybody they're
Yeah.
supposed to smash. Absolutely.
But, man, they've had a really soft schedule.
And the only real team that they beat
Bills.
with a winning schedule is the Bills.
Yeah.
And so yeah, and the Bills are on the road here. They're in New England, so I mean that's another thing too.
Stephon Diggs revenge game.
For sure. Like in that, and you've got two
I think it's gonna be
quarterbacks
a
that are
good game.
playing great.
I think it's being a great game. So, like earlier, I said that I was more impressed with the Bills and what they did in the game against the Bengals than I was depressed by what the Bengals did. And it was probably the mid third quarter ish, and the Bengals were dominating the game. The Bills could not stop them. They were doing whatever they wanted, and they scored again to go up. I think 28. I think it was like 28 to 11 or something. It was a weird score. 28 to 12 something. It was a weird score. 13 maybe. And I know it was 2 scores. And the Bills they had looked kind of like off kilter a little bit. They weren't running the ball very well, and they didn't really run the ball very well all game long. They had a couple of chunk runs, but they didn't. They for as bad as Cincinnati's defense has been against the run, they did not run the ball well. But they just kept hammering away. And I was like, for as good as Cincinnati's offense is, I was like, man, if Buffalo is able to figure out how to slow them down, and I think they're going to win this game. And they were down, and the Bengals looked really good for most of that game. But the Bills are a different team now.
You think they figured it out that it's through Cook again? Like
They
kind of went through the same thing last year.
It reminded me of opening night against Baltimore. Remember that game against Baltimore, where Baltimore was just they could not stop anything that Baltimore was doing all night long. But they just kept hammering away. They just kept staying like kind of within striking distance, and not even like they weren't even one score down. They were multiple scores down, but they kept hanging around. And then they finally were able to stop the Ravens, and then they just took over that game.
So, if anything, like we were talking about Dak earlier, about him like being
Josh Allen?
valuable. No, we were talking about Dak earlier, about him being valuable to the point where he should be an MVP to that team. I think the Bills is more with Josh Allen.
No.
sure.
It's
a
similar.
better example of that, except he's doing it. He's getting his team those
He's got the
dubs.
wins, yeah.
And if you took him out,
His team is also getting those stops and those big moments too. Like Dak's team isn't like pick sixing Joe Burrow while they're down, because like that's what happened was the Bengals were up in the game 32-28, and they were driving, and then Burrow throws the lob pass that gets picked off and run all the way back. Like the Cowboys aren't like that. That's not Josh Allen. Like that. And
sure, but
that's what I'm saying is like
they
it was
still the offense.
that was the difference was that like so they got beat
how
up.
many pick six? How many times did they do that?
Huh? They picked him off twice.
Oh,
pick six though.
No. But it was the other one sealed the game.
Right, but I mean, that was 1 or 2 times throughout the season.
It was 2 consecutive drives in that game, and then they did this.
I'm asking how many pick sixes did they have to help them win the game throughout the season?
Oh, I don't know. But it doesn't. That's not really relevant because that's not.
I think it's very relevant.
I don't think
if
it is
that's
because
the case you're making. If that's the case you're making,
we're talking about moments. We're talking about
But
moments.
you're making the case that you're trying to put
You're trying to
Josh
put,
Allen.
You're trying to put an analytic spin onto something that I'm not. That I'm beyond analytics at this point. Like I'm not. That's an apples and oranges argument.
I don't think it is.
It is.
I don't think it is.
Yes, it is because I'm.
I don't want to keep because it's like it's such a non thing.
Right.
But all I'm saying is, like, if you're gonna say, if you pull Josh Allen out of the equation for the Bills.
Okay, so the year that I said that Dak should have won the MVP, they went 12.
Let me finish. You said if you pull Dak out of the equation for the Cowboys, they lose a lot more of those games.
Oh yeah, and they do every time he gets hurt. They do.
And I'm saying the same thing with Josh
Allen.
Allen.
Every time Dak gets
you
hurt,
take
the
Josh
Cowboys put
Allen
in the top
out of the
5
equation, the Bills lose a lot of those games.
For sure.
Right?
Yeah, no,
Except
I don't disagree
with him
that.
in the equation, they've won more than with Dak in the equation.
Right, but there's
they've
also
won more
other things going on. Like that's.
I would say that just on that argument alone, I would say Josh Allen is more of an X factor, more of a
Sure.
Yeah, I would put a little bit more on Josh Allen's shoulders there
for sure. But
than
he's also
Dak,
he's also like he also has had some real stinkers this year.
Oh,
like,
this year.
This
year he is not going to be MVP.
No.
And I don't know the answer to this question before I ask it.
The game against Houston,
I don't know the answer to this question before
the game
I
against
ask it.
Miami, he lost that game against Miami single-handedly. Like that game, that I was. So we were talking about the Dolphins earlier and how they hadn't beaten anybody except for the Bills in those like a 6 or 7 game stretch, and in that game, those
are divisional games.
It was just a calamity. Like it was like it's hard to describe it's hard for me to describe without bringing up a Madden reference, but it's like playing a game of Madden, and like you get behind, and you keep battling away, and you're just about to turn the corner, and then something else happens, and it's a turnover, or it's a drop pass, or it's a penalty, whatever it is that kills your momentum and prevents you from getting back into the game. And that was that game against Miami. And Dak hasn't had any of those games this year.
That was going to be my question.
Dak
was
has
there
not
a game?
No, Dak hasn't been.
And I didn't know the answer to the question before I asked it.
Unstoppable. The only way the Cowboys have
has
lost.
he not had a stinker?
He had the worst game.
season?
The worst game that he had this year was the Bears game, and CeeDee Lamb got hurt like 4 plays into the game.
I think he had a fantasy stinker or two, but he's played well every game. Even in those fantasy stinkers, like he said, there were reasons why.
All right. So next up, we got Commanders at Giants. Commanders are plus 2.5. Over unders is 46.5. Plus 124 if you're betting on the Commanders. Minus 148 if you're betting on the Giants.
Who is the starting quarterback for Washington right now? It's Mariota, right?
It's Mariota.
Sorry, Mariota. You're right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Giants here.
The Giants are at home, right?
Yep. Giants are at home. They're still they're still trying to like figure out what they have with Jackson Dart. So they're putting a good team around him. They're not giving up. You know what I mean? They're just like, okay, what do we have for next year? And that's what I think it's important. Like teams that have these 2, 3, 4 wins, like they should all be tanking. Yeah, but also there's something to be gained by giving valuable snaps to a Jackson Dart, who's going to be your quarterback for the next 2 years at least, right? Like he's earned the starting role for the next 2 years. So you want to give him reps. You want to see what he can do in these games. You want to see what's going on, and you have to protect him. So honestly, I think that they're trying to win this game. They're like, this isn't one that they're just trying to drop. They're trying to like prove something and show what their guys can do for next year. Whereas Washington, I don't see really what they're trying to do this year. Like at this point, it's like we kind of like want to just take our quarterback out and just sit back and like I wish McLaurin hadn't come back because why does he need to come back right now? It's
Watching the Commanders this year it's satisfying because there are so many things that you feel that you know for sure that don't go that way, that go against you, so many like obvious calls throughout the season. Fantasy calls, things like that, games that we pick where we're all on one side and then the next week it's like what the hell happened, But I saw this last year when everybody was shoving their nose right up their asses. Like the Commanders have done it. They've got their quarterback of the future. Their franchise is solved. It's all we can counting down the days to our next Super Bowl. And I told you, Dan Quinn is not a head coach. His defenses were not as good in Dallas as people were making them out to be. And their team is incredibly old. They were the oldest team in the NFL last year. And then they got older. I don't know what they're doing. But I'll say again, as a Cowboys fan, I'm here for it. God, I love watching it. Because it really looks like they're at it again where they're just spinning their wheels.
So you're going for the Giants?
Like they're absolutely, yeah. And then on the other side, the Giants have gotten exceptional at screwing over their fans. and their fans would love nothing more for them to just lose at this point and get that number 1 pick. They don't want this win. But the Giants have done that to them the last couple of years because the Giants don't have any number 1 overall picks, but they've been just trash.
But see,
for the last 10 years.
If I'm a Giants fan, I'm wanting to see Jackson Dart take that next step.
No,
absolutely.
So
I want to see that
the
development.
reason I say
that development is worth way more than a pick or two in the draft. It really is.
So New York fans are a special kind of entitled. And
no bias whatsoever.
Huh?
No bias whatsoever.
No, they
Dallas fans,
well. I'm also a Red Sox.
I'm big in the
fan.
Washington
I'm also a
Commanders.
Red Sox fan, so I deal with Yankees fans all the time. And yes, and like as a Red Sox fan, one of the things that is one of the sweetest times of the year, every year, is when the Yankees are like. When everything's going wrong, it happens every year. Even in the years where the Yankees win the World Series, at some point in the year, everything's going completely wrong. Everybody in New York is upset at everybody they shouldn't be. It happens all the time.
Sounds like Philly to me.
Because they demand winning. Well, it's not so much with the Giants, but the Yankees. And New Yorkers in general have a similar feeling towards their sports. And I listen to shout out to the CBS guys. I listen to the CBS guys all the time. Adam Azer is a huge Giants fan, and he does not want them to win. He does not. They want the better. Right. They want the better draft pick. They are practical fans. They don't want the. They don't need a feel good story. They don't need it.
It's not about a feel good story. It's about developing your quarterback.
They don't. They know that they've got one now. They know that they're not. They've seen.
Do you want to go into next year winning or not?
You just said that this guy's already earned the job for the next 2 years. You just said that, right?
Absolutely.
So then, therefore, you don't need to see anything on Sunday.
Bullshit.
You just,
what is it? How does that not make sense?
What does it change?
Of course
okay, so hold on. So then, what can he do on Sunday to dismiss the 2 years you just gave him?
That's not what I'm talking about. It does matter.
It doesn't matter.
It's about the development of the player,
it's not. Dude. You're not going to develop him in one game on Sunday in December.
I'm saying that in
against
these last
a team
3 or 4
trash.
games of the year, you're not just sitting him on the bench. You want him in there developing, getting better as a quarterback. And these 3 or 4, yes, you might get a couple more wins than you wanted. It's going to be more valuable for your quarterback in the future.
You are talking from the perspective of the person who's responsible for getting wins, not from the perspective of the person who wants to see Super Bowl championships.
All right, and if all the NFL players are robots, then you are absolutely correct.
What are you talking about?
They have feelings. They have development.
The players want to play and the coaches want them to play, but the fans don't feel the same way that the coaches and players do.
All right.
They're
all right.
Give me the Giants and we'll move on.
Yeah, let's move on.
Am I wrong there?
Yep.
How am I? Really? You think that? Hold on.
I don't even know what you're asking. You said, "Am I wrong?" And I was like, "Yes."
So wait a minute. you think
This is
that
a lot
the
of time on
fans
a
and
non-game.
so the fans, the players, and coaches, you think that all three of those minds are in cohesive order?
No,
Like you think
No.
you think that those are in unison?
never are.
They never are.
They
They
never are.
never are. So saying that the fans want something that only makes their team
I don't
worse.
think he said that. He didn't say that.
He did say that.
He didn't say the fans wanted it.
say fans. That's why I jumped on it.
He didn't say fans.
He said fans.
Everything I
He
everything
said
I,
if I'm a Giants fan. That's what he said.
as a Giants fan that has a brain that makes sense, everything that I want, like if I, as a smart person, as a smart NFL fan, like this is what I want to see. Like I want to see the development of my quarterback. Yes. Like what am I missing here? I don't get it.
But we should move on.
No, because
It's such a non-game.
It is.
But I am going Commanders, so I am
It's
picking
a-
against
are
you
you
guys.
really?
Yeah, I'm going
it's a
Commanders.
non-game,
Oh,
but it's not a
man, that-
non-argument. Like
I know, but we're spending a lot of time
wait,
talking
wait,
about. Well,
I-
we could
I-
be
I-
spending time talking about games that matter.
Agreed, but I do want to know your argument for the Commanders. Like you're lone wolfing the Commanders
you
here,
are?
Yeah.
oh wow,
and just why?
that's worse than what he said.
Okay. I mean, unless I'm right.
No, but
Unless
I'm
I'm
like,
right.
no, and you might be right. I'm just like, and you have been right on so many of these games.
Right,
So that,
right.
that is why I'm asking why. Well, like, what is what's your logic on this one?
Well, for this particular game, I don't see the Giants really. And maybe it's. I mean, Ken was talking about how old the team is. The Commanders have more experience. I think the coach has more of a urgency to win in this game. I don't think he's going to just turn over and roll over. He wants to win. Where the Giants, do they want to win?
That's what I'm saying. Is that like from a fan perspective, you don't want them to win. There's nothing that's winnable. Like, and you don't, and like you want to see your quarterback play, but you don't want them to win. You don't want them to go out there and try and win this game.
Yeah, you want your quarterback to go out there, advance, move up a level, look incredibly good, and lose.
I think the
Yes,
coach,
that's ideal, but it's not realistic.
the coach of the Commanders will still throw the kitchen sink, and Giants aren't. They're not going to do that.
I'm just saying, like, all I was saying is that the Giants
it's the
fans
other
didn't
way
want to see
around
them to
there,
win. But and the Commanders, oh man, they looked so. It's funny, to me, they have looked better with Marcus Mariota as the quarterback,
A veteran quarterback.
than any time that Jaden Daniels has been healthy this
Veteran
season.
quarterback.
Okay, like he has
Last year he was great. He
Okay.
was phenomenal. And maybe next year he'll regain that form and be phenomenal again. Maybe I'll be wrong. I don't think that's ever happening again. I think it was a magic one-off. And what I said the whole time last year was that this Cliff Kingsbury offense is not dynamic. It's a lot of read option, one look, not there, take off and run. Use your athleticism. And it didn't work with Kyler Murray. Jaden Daniels is a better quarterback than Kyler Murray.
Okay.
That doesn't make him a good quarterback. And it doesn't make Cliff Kingsbury a good offensive coordinator. And I still think, and I don't think, and I still like Jaden.
Where is Kingsbury this year?
He's
still in Washington, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. It's yes. All the things were the same. Like they made some additions to their team with older players, and people were real excited and thought the Commanders were going to make a deep run to the playoffs. And and just me saying that right now it sounds ridiculous because they're so bad, but that is
Right,
the
but
case.
at the beginning
that
of
was
the
the
year,
case. Was the Commanders were supposed to give the Eagles a run for their money for this division. That's what was supposed to happen.
Right, and they have been littered with injuries. Like it's been injuries all year.
Right, but
everywhere.
But before Jaden Daniels got hurt,
And I'm
their
not just talking
offense
about Jaden.
they've
been laden with injuries everywhere, both sides of the ball.
In the one full game
Because they're the oldest team in the league. Like I'm not even saying you're wrong.
one
I'm
full
just
game
saying
that they had
you
together
have to put that asterisk
against
there.
the Giants
Still talking
in week
about
1.
Commanders.
Right. They look.
That's us, guys. We talk
they were
about the weakest
terrible
teams the
in
longest
week one
for
against
the
the
longest.
Giants. You can go back and you can go back.
Speaking
you can
of
go
weak
back and
teams.
you can watch week one, where they are essentially the same team that went to the NFC Championship game, and they're playing against a team that we expect nothing from. That isn't even starting Jackson Dart at this point. They're starting Russell Wilson, and the Giants were bad, and Russell Wilson still was able to have a potential game-winning drive in that game because the Commanders were so bad. The offense but with Mariota, their offense has moved the ball consistently. They're not exciting. Jaden Daniels is much more exciting, but the offense was more cohesive with Mariota. And so that would be my argument, is that they played better football when Daniels was hurt.
All right, I'm just going to throw a little bias out there, just so everybody
Hey,
knows.
well,
There's
no,
some bias
that's a
here.
Commanders thing. I don't have a problem with Jaden Daniels. I think the Commanders are stupid. Like I think Jaden Daniels is a fine quarterback. I don't think he's as good as everyone made him out to be last year. And
I'm just saying you're always willing to put a lot of shade on anybody in your own division.
Oh, for sure. Like you're not?
I'm just pointing
the
it out for the
49ers.
viewers. That's all I'm saying.
It's usually just the Eagles.
Because that's
It's
your main
always the
competition right
No,
now.
no,
It's always the Eagles.
no.
So yes,
no,
you're always
usually.
willing
That's
to go
not
after
why.
the Eagles.
That's not why, and you know it's not why. You're gonna make me say why. You're gonna make me say why.
No,
You know why. You know why the Eagles get the most shade, and it's not.
nobody said nobody.
And it's not
nobody's
even.
denying
And honestly,
that,
it's not even really the Eagles. It's the fans.
Fans,
I don't
yeah.
have a problem with the. I don't have a problem with the organization. I don't have a problem with the players. The players are great. The coaches are great. It's the fans and go look at the
You're
Philadelphia.
all a-holes.
Look at the Philadelphia headlines right now involving the Eagles. Like the Eagles are the defending Super Bowl champions.
Yes.
They're having a little bit of a rough stretch right now, but they have a 2-game lead in their division. And go read the newspaper right now
Yeah,
in
I
Philly.
know.
Are you kidding me? They're talking about firing their head coach and sitting the quarterback.
Yeah.
That's Philly. That's why they suck.
the fans.
The fans.
Okay. I was like,
Philadelphia, the people, you suck.
that's all I'm saying.
That's all I'm saying. You guys suck.
Millions of fans,
not the
y'all
Eagles.
suck.
The players, you guys are awesome. You guys are great. I love watching what you do. But it sucks that you're doing it
jeez.
for fans that don't appreciate it. Because that's what's happening.
All right. Now let's make him pick another game where he has to pick somebody from his division to win here.
All right, yeah,
no, I
and that
won't do it. I'll
is
do
Yes, you will.
No, I won't.
Yes, you will.
I will pick against them.
You will not.
the 12.5 Las Vegas Raiders against the Philadelphia Eagles. Over under is 38.5 plus 575 if you're betting on the Raiders, minus 850 if you're betting on the Eagles.
I'm taking the Eagles. Who
Me
you taking,
too.
Ken?
Is Gino playing?
I don't think so,
No.
but maybe.
I don't think so either. I think
No,
there's
he's not.
I don't think it's not what's his face either, right? Don't they have another quarterback starting?
I don't even know.
Who's starting for the Raiders this week? I actually don't know.
There's like 3 teams starting this week that I cannot name their starting quarterback.
Brady Cook, dude.
and have no like desire to look up the name or care or just like no, it doesn't matter.
Bye, Gino. Bye, Gino.
Yeah, Gino didn't matter either.
We're all picking the Eagles. Hopefully the Browns, or hopefully Brown smashes
Yeah, Gino
and gets a bunch of yards so I could beat Ken this week.
Gino is confirmed out. And then the backup was Aiden O'Connell.
What could go wrong? So you're picking the Raiders then, right?
It's not O'Connell either.
So you're picking the Raiders, right?
No. And I want to.
I know you do.
I
but
really want
I
to.
knew you wouldn't.
And like
I hope the Raiders win, but I'm not picking them.
I really hope they do. Like I would really love to see like Ashton Genty just run all over this Eagles defense that hasn't been able to stop the run very well lately.
yeah, not happen.
Yeah, they did not do a good job last week against the Chargers when the Chargers couldn't throw the ball. That is going to be my hope for this weekend is that the Raiders beat the Eagles. Yeah. We need that to happen.
Good luck.
All right.
I know, right? Hey,
All right.
hey, they. You know what? If Jalen Hurts can lose 4 points on one play,
Anything can happen.
then anything can happen.
So next up, we are finally out of the morning games. Oh my gosh! And next up, we got the Packers at the Broncos. Packers -2.5. Over under is 42.5. -130 if you're betting on the Packers. +110 if you're betting on the Broncos.
And finally, a good game here. Like it feels like for the last few games, we were just talking about crap, talking about garbage, and now we've got an actual game.
And we were able. The fact that we could do that just shows how talented we are.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go.
You're in good hands.
But here we have two playoff
you're in
teams
Philadelphia.
going up against each other, and it's just like who's better. And I feel like Green Bay is the better team here. I really do. And part of it is just like I have not been on board with Denver this year. I feel like they've had a lot of weak opponents. I feel like they're similar to the New England of this division.
I actually like New England better than Denver. I feel like
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I feel like Denver has played much more. Like Denver has done a lot more playing with fire
and
than
Bo
New
Nix
England
has
has.
just not looked
Because
good.
Denver's had to come from behind to win like all but one. So their win streak is 10 games now, I think. Until last week, they had trailed in every game, and so they led wire to wire last week, which is and that's great. But it was the Raiders.
Right.
So, this is, and I don't want to say this is their test because they've played good opponents. They've beaten people.
Yep.
They have good wins.
But even those wins, you feel like, oh man, they got lucky to get that win. You know what I mean? They didn't really deserve it, but they got this one play, they got this one interception, whatever. But
they're getting a Green Bay team that's playing really well right now, and I think this is where their win streak ends. I actually think Green Bay is going to win this game.
Oh wow!
Ray's like, oh, I get another lone wolf, where I get to.
Am I getting another one?
Yep.
Okay.
If you're taking Denver, you get the lone wolf.
Oh, you guys are playing catch up this week. Awesome.
I like Green Bay.
Maybe.
I like
no,
Green
no,
Bay,
no, no.
honestly.
It's a good.
Yeah,
it's.
Like, I'm
it's a good
worried
one.
about
Dude,
Josh.
I am so far behind. I'm not worrying about catching up.
Yeah.
No. Okay, that's fair.
I'm picking the best team. And,
Yeah, and I don't think
I
they
mean,
can
you
even.
think you're picking the
I
best
don't think they can catch me for number 2. So, so like we're in weird.
not worried about it.
We're in weird
I'm
positions.
just
Like
giving my
I can't
opinions.
catch him for number 1, and they can't catch me for number 2. So
It does make me nervous when this weeks like this happen, but I always works out all right.
It has
always
this
works
year.
out right.
You've been
it
doing
has
well.
this year.
Yeah.
You've been on fire.
I've rarely changed my pick, and it's usually because like, oh wait, I didn't realize something before I picked them. You
Or
know, I
somebody's
probably
hurt
maybe
or- yeah.
picked a team,
And then you just
like,
said,
change
whatever,
course.
and left it, and then it worked out.
Well, there's twice where I've made the change. I think twice where it worked out. That I'm like, oh shit, I'm glad I made that change. I haven't regretted my changes. Let's put it that way. But it's rare. So yeah, I'm going Denver. Next up, Carolina at New Orleans Saints. Carolina -2.5. Over under is 40.5. -155 if you're betting on the Panthers. +130 if you're betting on the Saints. Yeah, this one I think maybe we're all aligned on this one. I'm going
Prime
Carolina.
time ball right here.
Yeah, I think we have to take Carolina here.
They got something to play for.
New Orleans has been playing better, and it's not just that Carolina has something to play for. I think Carolina might be the best team in their division.
Okay.
And they're going out there to prove it right now. And they need to keep winning to do it. And I think they will do it here. New Orleans has been playing better. They've been playing better defense and offense. Just steady ball is basically what they're playing right now, is what it feels like to me. Just keeping a hold of the ball and playing okay defense. And Carolina is one of those teams that's just amazing, or they fall on their face and they get beat by 30. You know what I mean? It's almost like they
They
win by
are the
30 or
most
lose by 30.
frustrating team to try and pick games on this year.
Agreed.
I feel like I think we should go back and look, because I feel like this is the team we've been the most wrong about all year long. Whether like
Every
whether
time we jump
winning or
on their
losing.
bandwagon, they're like, nope, sorry guys, not this week.
And this kind of feels like one of those, and especially like after New Orleans coming off of that win in Tampa Bay, that was an impressive win.
No, and
they were really
they have
good.
been playing better.
They were
agree.
really good.
Yeah, but against the Saints.
But who are you taking here? You know you're taking Carolina.
Am I?
Yep.
No, I'll take the Saints.
What?
Awesome.
Loser.
He really likes that quarterback over there. Next up, Colts at Seattle Seahawks. Colts are +13.5. Over under is 42.5. plus 750 if you're betting on the Colts. Minus 1,200 if you're betting on the Seahawks. Plus 13.5 is high. That's got to be a old man Phillip Rivers.
We got game of the week going on right here.
Oh my gosh,
game
dude.
of the week. Everybody's going to be watching this game because everybody wants to know, is Phillip Rivers like okay or not? Like, if he is an okay quarterback.
So, I'm glad that we're finally here because this is this has been the most entertaining thing that's happened in football in quite a while.
It's fun.
And it's not just because it is fun. It is fun, and Phillip Rivers is awesome. He's one of the all-time great competitors. You know,
Okay.
He just a guy that you'd want to have mic'd up every game.
Okay.
Throughout his career, he's just a fun dude.
Maybe not this game because it's going to be a lot of.
Right. We'll see.
No, that would be next week. That would be next week. It wouldn't be this game.
I'm just saying
this
he's going to have
game.
trouble getting up from some of these hits.
I'm
Like,
curious
he's gonna
as
have
to
trouble.
what they're going to list his weight.
I don't think he'll get hit.
I want to see what they list his weight as.
You're going to see if they weigh the double chin or not.
If they actually because if they like he starts the game and they show him and his stats and it's like 6'5", 240. It's like, you fucking liars. Like,
I'm tempted to start the Colts. I'm not going
He has
to.
got to be like 270 pounds.
No, he's not that heavy.
I think he is.
No,
I
but
think
he,
you don't.
he might be 240 though. He might
No,
be
dude.
245.
I think you're misjudging weight.
He didn't look like he had 3 chins. He looked like he had 2.
No, that's not 3. How much do you think I weigh?
235, 240, 220. What?
Are you saying he looks bigger than you?
No, I'm not. I'm just saying, like, Phillip Rivers is 6'5". Okay.
Oh wow.
I'm 6'1". How much do you think I weigh?
I don't know.
Like I say, 235, 240 is my best guess.
Okay. Closer to 270.
Holy crap! Okay.
And it's because you don't have to be fat.
Well, honestly, I didn't know Phillip Rivers was that tall.
He's
like if he's that tall with a double chin, okay, all right, I can see how it's a little more than that.
Yeah, I
kind of think double chins come with age too.
For sure. But I just like his face in the press conference today. I was like,
he
whoa.
doesn't. I watched some.
Like, I'm
some
not
video
one
of him
to
throwing.
criticize a man for a double chin because, but I saw him today and it just looked a lot.
But I expect a certain amount of physique out of my 5-digit athletes.
And I think he would have one if he knew he was going to play football.
My 9-digit athletes.
So for me, I think the more entertaining stuff has been like all the quarterbacks that feel like they got snubbed for not getting picked up.
Like,
But
That's where I was going with this.
And-
That's where I was going because that's been the most. It's the Phillip Rivers part is fun, but the most interesting part has been the fallout
Yeah.
from.
And to me, it's just because he's familiar.
To me,
he's familiar.
I'm going to stick
with
my
the
head
organization.
and I'm going to
He's
stick my
familiar
head in the
with
lion's mouth here. To
organization.
me, it's race baiters,
Oh,
because
well, yeah.
the people that are upset are the Colin Kaepernick truthers,
Like that's way.
and not actual, and it's never Colin Kaepernick. And I love that about him is that like you'll see people making noise about Colin Kaepernick. But then you don't see Colin Kaepernick in front of cameras saying a bunch of dumb shit. Like
Well, what about Cam Newton?
and that's
Even Cam Newton, I saw him on ESPN today. He's like, I don't want to fucking play.
That's not the first thing I saw. The first,
Yeah,
no,
well,
but
I saw him.
I'm not really.
I'm with Ken.
I saw him. I watched him make a video almost in instantaneous response to it, saying it's almost like a slap in the face.
Yeah.
Like I say, I saw on ESPN today. He was just like,
They probably
that
told
wasn't
him
a
to
big
tone. They
deal.
probably told him to tone it down.
And maybe that's the case. I don't know. That's just what I saw.
Hey man,
And-
the Colts aren't paying you right now. The NFL's not paying your salary. We are. And also ESPN owns a
And that's
large
silly
percentage
because they're
of
just
the NFL now.
they're
in their
different skill
broadcasting.
sets. Like Rivers is somebody that actually what is he good at? He's good at getting the ball out
Right,
quickly.
right.
That's what he can do.
And
like that is not what Cam Newton do.
Well,
what he's known as just running
Phillip
quarterback.
Rivers is somebody that
and he's
you know
proven he
can
cannot
run.
do that.
Phillip Rivers is also a quarterback that started for 20 years and ran several professional offenses, including Shane Steichen's offense 10 years ago.
Familiarity, yeah.
They worked. Someone asked Shane Steichen a stupid question because they obviously didn't do their research, and they asked what it was going to be like coaching a player who's older, coaching a quarterback who's older than him, and he said, "Well, that was true when I coached him 10 years ago too."
Right. So it's fine, dumbasses.
Right,
yeah, no,
right.
No, I agree.
So it makes sense. And but like the Phillip, like I said, the Phillip Rivers part of it, I'm actually excited about. Like, I mean, because to me, like, we watched Tom Brady excel at age 45, 46, and Phillip Rivers is a more physically imposing figure than Tom Brady ever was. So I don't think that he's going to have a problem throwing the football. It's just a matter of whether or not he can take these hits. So, like, I'm super excited to see a 44-year-old guy get off the couch and go, you know what, I can still fucking do it better than these 20-year-olds.
And what hasn't been taken into account as far as this kind of an argument, as far as, oh, well, why did he take Cam Newton? Why didn't they take these others? Well, familiarity with the system for sure. But also, like, Phillip Rivers is one of those guys that hasn't given up. He every year since he retired during the COVID year, he's been trying to come back. It's not like
you hear about it, like the 49ers.
He's been trying to stay in shape. He's been trying to do these things. Like, he's had this dream of coming back to the NFL for the last 5 years.
The 49ers called him, or apparently, before.
I think went like 2 quarterbacks down.
So it was that NFC Championship game situation. I believe there was, if I remember correctly, there was a chance like the 49ers were going to sign him and bring him in real quick. So yeah, he probably stays. Like, I mean, he's 44, so like for a 44-year-old, he's in pretty good shape.
Right, and he's going to be playing Joe Flacco football.
Right.
Just getting rid of the ball as quickly as possible, trying not to get hit.
So
using
fantasy
his experience
purposes,
as the, you know what I mean? And his quick release, which people are not talking about. The big thing about Rivers, he looks funky the way he throws Always has.
Shot put.
But he gets rid of it quicker than anybody else.
Yeah.
And that's what they're going to need to do. So that's why Tyler Warren, that's why Taylor might have a chance to have decent games here.
Okay, so the spread is 13.5.
Yeah.
I don't think it should be that big.
No,
I think
agree with that.
They bringing him in because they think he can win.
I don't think it should be that big.
He could
either.
also just collapse. It could just be like, what the heck?
He could,
you know,
but they're bringing him in because they don't think that's going to happen, obviously, and they think he can win.
Yes,
they're a playoff team.
Gives them their best chance to win.
Yeah.
They're a playoff team. I mean, they're heading to the playoffs. I mean, if they don't lose out.
I was looking at if they can win a couple games. Yeah.
So to bring this around to fantasy, I was devastated when Daniel Jones went out because I was really counting on Tyler Warren's beautiful playoff schedule.
And Jonathan Taylor,
yes,
yes,
right.
Yes.
And so
I'm very worried.
That's the most important thing is I think that this signing does save your fantasy season.
It at least gives us hope.
If you're a manager of Jonathan Taylor and Tyler Warren specifically, I don't know about Michael Pittman.
Michael Pittman, you're screwed.
I'm still worried about Michael Pittman.
Else.
Right.
But Warren and Taylor might be okay.
Yeah, I think so. Like I shifted Warren back into
but even then it's a maybe.
I shifted Warren back into my starting lineup. Like I'm going to start him over Likely. I'm going to start him over Brenton Strange, and And there's other options. Yeah. There's other options on the waiver wire too. I'm going to start him over Dalton Schultz. So Tyler Warren to me moved back into the you have to start him range.
Whew, dude, I like hearing you say that, man.
This matchup is too good. And
my
Phillip
big
Rivers,
money league, I have to start him this week, and so I'm enjoying.
And to me, if anybody knows how to get the ball to a tight end, a talented tight end, it's Phillip Rivers.
Yep.
So, all right. So next up,
but the Seahawks will win this game. And start the Seahawks defense.
Yep, just in case.
Yeah, they're just having a special season.
They really are.
I think in standard scoring, they're outscoring the next defense by 50 points this season. It's outrageous.
Next up is Tennessee Titans at San Francisco. Another big blowout game projected. Tennessee Titans is plus 12.5. Over under is 44.5. Plus 600 if you're betting on the Titans. Minus 900 if you're betting on the 49ers. Well, Titans are not going out there to lose. Right?
But they're going to.
They're going to, but they're not dumping their season off. If that was the case, they would have let the Browns win.
And again, it's the same. It's the same case, just like I was saying with Jackson Dart. Like they've got Cam Ward out there. They're trying to develop their quarterback. This isn't going to be a quarterback developing game. I think this is going to be an ass whooping.
I think it's a little bit of a different situation with like Tennessee and with New York, because Tennessee is in a situation where they're playing against a team they shouldn't beat, you know. So you go out there and you kind of like you get to see where you're at, you know. See where you're deficient. See where like how you match up against this elite team. And I guess I didn't bring that up against the Giants Commanders one. Is that like from the Giants' perspective, it's like, what do you prove if you win? You know, even if you do.
I don't think it's about a win. It's about developing things. But yeah,
But I mean, like I think you could anyway. Let's not won't go back to
that. Don't go back to that game. Ray will go crazy.
The Titans, if they show up with the offense that they brought to Cleveland last week, this could be a much more interesting game than San Francisco wants.
Yeah, that's all I was saying was like
their defense has not been good. The 49ers defense has not been good outside of that Cardinals game, but everybody looks good against the Cardinals for the first 3 quarters. So I'm mildly concerned, but not really, because I just expect the 49ers to come out after a bye week. I expect them to come out and handle business offensively, jump out on top of this team by a couple of touchdowns, and then the game's just over.
McCaffrey's good, and I expect Niners to win by 20.
Yeah. Yes. I agree.
Yeah, all right. So next up, Lions at the Rams. Lions are +6, over-unders 54.5. Plus 205 if you're betting on the Lions, -250 if you're betting on the Rams. I like that.
I'm so worried this is going to be like that game from. Like,
that's just because I'm starting Stafford.
2018, yes.
Yeah,
I'm worried that this is going to be like a reboot of that greatest game ever played.
This time Goff on the losing side of it.
Chiefs Rams game from 2018.
The one that was supposed to be in Mexico City.
54. Yeah, it was supposed to be in Mexico City, and then they weren't able to do it because of like pollution or something like that.
I think it was fires or something.
Right, but
air
I think
pollution,
air pollution. It was air
but
pollution.
Because of the fires, yeah.
Right, but that game was back and forth all night long. There was defensive scores in it. Like and that's another thing is like this guy's gonna be playing the Rams defense, so that was a game where like, and I'm pretty sure both defenses scored in that game, so it's like the game was 54-51, but you still could have started either defense because they scored a handful of points from turnovers and touchdowns.
I think it could be a blowout in the sense that like McVay knows all of Goff's deficiencies.
Right, but
the
Rams have a good pass rush, and where Goff.
That's Goff's deficiency.
But they smashed the Chiefs, and they've beaten other good pass rushes. Excuse me. The Eagles got them though. In that Eagles game, the Lions looked inept. Like they looked like a team that was not on the road to the playoffs in that game. Based on how their offense looked. They looked like the Eagles had completely solved them. And it was about getting pressure on Goff while not having to blitz. And so that's going to be the big thing in this game is whether or not the Rams can get to Goff. If the Rams can get to Goff, then they should control this game. It shouldn't be a problem because the Rams are going to score. The Lions are not going to be able to stop them.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a statement win for the Rams here. I think this is really how the Rams come out and say, look. The Super Bowl comes through us.
Mm-hmm. And if they want it to, they need to win anyway.
Yep. We got some help. You know, the Bears lost last week, so that helped us.
And the Eagles lost.
The Eagles are a couple games
but
back.
it helps. Well, they're only one, right? You guys are 10-3?
Yeah.
They're not.
Yeah, 10-3.
I thought Eagles only had 8.
Oh, they're 8-5 now.
Yeah,
that's right.
I thought Eagles only had
the Monday night game put them another one back. Yeah.
So, I like the Rams here. I think the Rams are getting ready for the playoffs, and, I think they're going to look good in this one.
And you lose the tiebreaker with the Eagles. That's why it was important.
Now, what's the point spread on here?
6. It's fair.
Yeah, I think so, too. And I think the Rams are going to cover it, but it's one of those, like, this isn't one I'd bet on. You know what I mean? Because I can see Detroit like making a real good game of this, and like they're desperate. They're a good team. Their backs against the wall. I can see this going another way, but give me the
Stafford
Rams.
got an extra quarter off.
That'd be great. That'd be great if you guys score like 4 rushing
No,
touchdowns.
in the last game he got an extra quarter off.
Oh no! If he gets another one in this game, though, like you guys score like 4 rushing touchdowns, and then give Stafford the fourth quarter off, that'd
No,
be great.
I need it to be a high scoring game, but breathable.
But he's also this guy. It's crazy. This is going to be the game that determines our match, because he has Stafford, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and the Rams defense. So like,
Wow.
what happens in this game is going to have a huge determination.
Absolutely.
And for me, and on my side, it's going to be Bengals Ravens.
And I have a huge decision this week again, which is actually the same as it was last week, which is Burrow or Stafford. Again, last week this was a big thing, and they both scored like 23.
Depending on
points.
Well,
in the system that I was, using
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, but they also sat Stafford
Interesting. Oh yeah, that's right. Okay.
for a whole quarter.
Yeah. The Rams
Which
blew
probably won't happen
the
here with
Rams
Detroit.
completely blew out the
Yeah,
Cardinals.
I think I'm going to go Stafford here. I think I'm going to go Stafford over Burrow, but man, it's a tough one.
I'm not going to do that. Like obviously,
You're going Burrow.
Look,
that's our matchup.
Look.
Is Burrow versus Stafford.
the Rams still like to try to chip shots in the end zone. Right? They don't. You wouldn't think like the obvious thing would be hand to the running back. They don't always do that.
No. That someone said that the Rams, or excuse me, Stafford to Devontae is the Rams version of the tush push.
And if you think about it,
is, yeah.
because it's that unstoppable.
it was kind of frustrating because they went down there twice, I think, and tried 3 passes to get it in the end zone, and they just missed all 3 of them. So they ended up having to kick the field goal. Like I think it happened twice. So
Yeah, and
they like to take their shots.
and if you remember
within 5 yards,
the
they like
start
to
of the
still take their
season, we
shot.
talked about this, and they were misfiring a lot, and then they just caught fire. Like they were so close. We talked about this early in the season. Like they were just a hair off on a couple of throws. Like Devontae Adams is 6 inches from 5 more touchdowns.
Yeah.
No, you're not wrong.
If they'd had a better start to if they'd had a more
the
locked
first
in
4
start
games,
to the first 4 games, like he'd be threatening the Randy Moss record.
I think with most other teams, you get it within that 5 yards to a touchdown, and it's like 1st and goal.
I would say now it takes more. You have to be inside the 2.
But
That's
either
what
way,
it feels like now. Is it used to be more like you get down to about the 5, and then it's like we're at least gonna see if we can run the ball in on first down, right? Almost like 99% of the time, like 32 out of 32 teams, 1st and goal at the 5, and it's a handoff, and it's not that way anymore.
what I'm saying is though, in those situations where there's 5 yards, 3 yards, or 1 yard, when you're getting in those situations, you're pretty much kind of taking the back seat, waiting for the ball to be handed off, and you can't do that with the Rams. They're going to take a shot.
Yeah.
Right.
And so there's still hope that this quarterback and receiver combo is going to give me some points.
Yeah.
There's still hope on that when they get it that close in because they like taking their shots. That's all I was saying.
No.
I'm just glad he doesn't have Puka anymore
Yeah.
because he traded him for Lamar Jackson,
Oh, well.
Things happen.
who I'm also glad he's not starting this week. I would start Lamar over Stafford. Yeah.
I wouldn't.
No
In this
way.
matchup, I would, because I think that that Bengals Ravens game is going to be the highest scoring game of the week.
Like, and maybe, but Lamar Jackson just has not proven that he's back yet. He had that injury. He just hasn't been able to.
Last week he was good.
I wouldn't start him this week. I dropped him in another league. Like, got rid of him. Done.
The Guillotine League.
No, the yardage league.
Oh wow.
Yep. Said nope. Give me
Yeah,
Jackson.
I'm pretty
Dart.
sure Lamar Jackson's, he was just behind Stafford last week. Well, no, that was 24 points. But yeah, 20. Like it's a better. The thing though is that over the last 2 weeks, his rushing has come back.
Had to because he
And
has to be out. Like I
and
just
that-
feel like he's injured and he's like, oh god,
I
now
mean-
I got to do this.
Jackson had 24 points last week, but he never even scratched double digits
No.
the 3 games prior to that.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
So
But for him,
Can't trust him in
It's
the
all about the
playoffs.
rushing. So prior
still
to
didn't score 10,
prior to this season,
still didn't get to 10 points the other previous 3 weeks.
prior to
Rushing or not rushing.
no, he hasn't.
Yeah.
And their offense have been terrible. No, I'm just saying. Like this weekend, playing against,
I
playing
know.
against the Bengals,
Stafford is a way better
safer.
baseline, way safer,
Yeah,
way
way
safer.
safer.
All right, next up is Vikings at Dallas. Vikings plus 5.5. Over and under is 48.5. Plus 220 if you're betting on the Vikings. Minus 270 if you're betting on the Cowboys. We've made it to prime time.
Yeah, and Vikings showed that they have a little bit coming out. Like they're just trying to again develop their young quarterback, trying to see if J.J. McCarthy's worth something or not, and that's what's going on right now. And whether he is worth something or not, I can't see Dallas dropping a game to this Minnesota team right now. I mean, it's definitely possible because that Minnesota defense is the one thing they can do is takeaways. And so if they have one of those big takeaway games, they can actually do something. So it's not a safe game for Dallas, but I mean, I'm taking them. Give me Dallas and give me all their guys. Give me CD. Give me Pickens. CD's playing this week. He still hasn't quite.
He's gonna play.
Okay, we think he's going to play, but he hasn't cleared protocol yet, right?
I'm pretty sure that news should have come out today. Yeah, he's no injury designation.
Okay, so yeah, start your Cowboys. Cowboys should win it.
Yeah, he
unless
cleared concussion protocol.
Minnesota
today.
has one of those crazy defensive games, but give me Dallas.
Which they did last week, and really funny because Minnesota was shut out 2 weeks ago against Seattle, and then last week they shut out the Commanders. But actually, I really feel like watching that game that the Commanders shut themselves out because they were able to move the football. That wasn't a problem. They just kept turning the football over. And
like I say, that's what Minnesota and the Pittsburgh defense is like. That's what they specialize in is the turnover, but everything in between seems to be
right. But it was a lot. It was a lot of self-inflicted wounds. I'm not really that worried. Based on the defenses that the Cowboys have been able to put points up on, I'm not worried about the Vikings. I think the most interesting thing is the other
Brian,
side.
Is that door locked? Oh, no.
The other side of the ball, the Vikings offense versus the Cowboys defense. I actually think the Cowboys defense is kind of a sneaky good start this week because that Vikings offense didn't figure anything out last week.
Yeah.
They were still bad. They just had a lot of short fields, and it was very, very much like that opening Monday night game against the Bears where McCarthy just took advantage. Like, he did a really good job of taking advantage of those short fields. But they were not able to sustain drives in that
You're talking about
game.
the Vikings last week?
Yes, the Vikings offense still looks very bad.
Didn't they did win 31-0 the last week.
It was mostly
And
defense.
like I said, they did better, but yeah, not the best.
Thank you.
Ooh,
That is
nice.
awesome. My son's going to be very happy.
Yeah, so did I lone wolf that one too? Vikings? Was that one of the ones I lone wolfed?
I have no idea, but it sounds like something you'd lone wolf.
Yeah. No.
Be right.
Yeah. It does.
I remember looking at that like, fuck, I was right. Regardless of how they did it.
And you know what? And Jaden Daniels before he got injured, and like him getting injured also was just stupid. Like if you're not familiar with what happened, he got injured on his pick six.
Did he go for the tackle? Or
Yes, he went and got in the way and got blocked and landed on his arm, his bad arm.
I'm just saying, on a team that's only won 3
before that,
games,
he was
like,
still-
injured, you don't want to play no more.
Let that go.
He's like, I don't want to play no more.
All right, so we're all taking
He
Dallas.
seemed
Yeah.
upset that they took him out. I don't know,
We're all-
but he could be a good actor. I don't know.
Yeah, it was just a joke.
But yeah,
And-
we're all taking Dallas. Right?
Yep, and then the Monday night game, last game is Brian's favorite. Miami at Pittsburgh. Miami's +3, so they're not giving Pittsburgh Steelers much respect. Over under is 42.5, plus 140 if you're betting on the Dolphins, minus 166 if you're betting on the Steelers.
And actually, Miami has been playing a lot better. And so, I mean,
against poor competition.
Yeah. And honestly, Pittsburgh has not put themselves in the elite competition bracket yet.
Agreed.
We have a chance to. We have a chance to pull things together and be in that bracket. And I think we are going to make the playoffs. But are we going to be one of those dangerous teams in the playoffs? I think teams like this, games like this, are going to help us determine where we're at. You know what I mean? And this is a dangerous game to me. I mean, we're at home, but I think Miami is a more dangerous team than most. So if we can just really just shut them down and put them out early, it's going to be like, wow, okay, maybe we are a good team. But like, if this doesn't go that way, if this is, Miami edges it out, or if we barely beat Miami, I'm just gonna be like, oh man, I'm gonna be in the same spot I'm in right now, just thinking that we're just good enough to make the playoffs, and that's it. So
I gotta say, I think you guys are a better team with Adam Thielen.
How did he do?
Automatically improved your team.
How did he do? I
don't
remember us
think
talking about that last week.
So
But
he was on punt coverage, first of all, which is crazy.
punt coverage.
He was a gunner, like the guy that runs and gets beat up by two dudes for 40 yards downfield. Yeah, he did that all game long. And then he had he didn't play a ton, but there was a very crucial point late in the third, early in the fourth, where the Steelers were driving and they had 3rd and 2 or something like that, and he ran a real simple route, but he was the obvious target for the route and made the play. Caught a 3-4 yard pass.
It was 4 yards, and that was his only catch of the game. But
It was huge. But it was huge. It was
the number 2 receiver for the Steelers has been Calvin Austin.
Mm-hmm. And he's not.
And I think you guys have heard me talking about Calvin Austin for the last 2 years.
He's not a number 2. He's a good number 3.
Exactly. Yeah. He's a number 3. He's not a number 2, and he's a decent number 3.
And not a great. Like he's
that's
not,
what I'm saying.
Right,
he's decent. Right. Like, you do not want him as your number 2. So for us going into this year with him as the number 2, I've said all year that I was just not happy with it at all. Mm-hmm. And so when they brought in Thielen, I was just like, even if he's not catching a bunch, even if it's just leadership, even if it's just blocking, even if it's just all these intangibles that Adam Thielen has that Calvin Austin does not, like, that could be better. And so in 1 week, like, you could see certain things. Like, it was only the one catch.
I haven't seen, but you know what? It's a simple play. It's a 4-yard catch. But I have not seen Aaron Rodgers count on Calvin Austin to make that play this year.
Well,
I haven't.
Okay, yeah.
Like, you're talking, the game's on the line. We have to have this play.
You don't go 4-yarder to Austin. Yeah, you don't.
Yeah. I think Thielen is going to get more targets. The more he gets familiar with the system.
I think we're talking about him too much if you're talking about a fantasy level. He's not going to be a fantasy level wide receiver.
This is more like
you don't want to pick him up,
like you're just
for the playoffs.
Like as a fan, you're just happy to have him.
He does make the Pittsburgh offense a little bit better. I think.
I'm going to pick him up right now.
You do what you want, man.
Yeah, I'll drop one of these in. Because by week 18,
leave him on your bench. Like,
by week 18,
beat Ken.
I mean, he might be better than Amon St. Brown this weekend. You never know.
I didn't say I was going to start him. Oh, man. But I got plenty of people on my bench I could drop for a laugh anyway.
Yeah. Lamar Jackson.
And Thielen might be my week 18 winner.
All right.
And so that's it. That's all the games that we have. No questions tonight. Nobody came in and asked questions. I think everyone's seasons are pretty much over. So that's
not ours.
Dropped a question. Yeah.
And
all the ones that are desperate then they're like surfing the web for all the channels that just get a little bit like they're out.
Yeah. And on that note, before we go, I thought this was like the thing that kept making me laugh over and over and over again while I was listening to podcasts this week was that every single one of them was talking about their off-season schedule. And the reason being is they know that people are checking out this week. So they're trying to say, hey, don't forget about us. we're actually a year-long podcast. Stay with us.
Gotcha.
And the reason that kept making me laugh is because it's like, man, even at the highest levels, people, they're like, that's lazy, like why do it in week 15? Like the only people that are listening now are the people that are in the playoffs. The people that miss the playoffs, they're taking a break. And so, like, if you wanted to, like, ensure that people were not going to do that after week 14, you should have started in, like, week 8 when they were still alive. Like, you should have been promoting your off-season schedule and the fact that you're a full-time show year-round weeks ago. Like, it's so lazy to do it at the end of the season. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. I'm not like, I get it. I totally get it. And apparently it's a thing because they all did it. But that was my thought, was like, if I was somebody who was going to tune out because my season is over, you missed me already.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you also don't want to be advertising that far back.
You don't need to
10
put
and
like,
11. You don't need to be doing that.
Hey, yes, you do.
A small plug.
And
it's
a small plug, a tiny plug. It doesn't have to be your. But they were doing. They were like the CBS, Chris Harris, and the footballers all gave you their entire fucking off-season schedule upcoming this week. They all did it this week. And so it's obviously important. So if it's important, do it right. And the right way to do that would have been to done it 7 weeks ago when you had the most amount of viewers, when everybody was locked in.
Before we go, actually, there's one thing I do want to just kind of briefly touch on. And I don't have anything to talk about really on it, but I think you two might, is the Thursday night game. Right? Because Tampa Bay lost.
Uh-huh.
I don't even remember who they played against. Atlanta. I remember it being like, what the hell? I was in Phoenix watching that game. I was.
Yeah. That was a nice looking drink.
Oh, it was good too, and it was expensive. It was expensive, but I had like a 3 or 4 hour layover because of delays, and so I was just sitting there like, I might as well watch the game and drink a beer. So it was on my company, not on me. So.
There you go. Enjoy.
Yeah.
And so, what do you guys have to think? What are your thoughts on that game?
Honestly, last night I was playing in a poker tournament and did really well and won another poker tournament. So I have another poker trip to go on later on this year.
Oh, where?
Or early next year. But I didn't get. I looked up and went, Atlanta won. What the heck happened?
And they came back and won.
So
I walked away.
If you actually want to unpack that game, there was a lot that was going on there.
What happened at the end? How'd they come back?
The most important things from fantasy are, 1, Kyle Pitts might actually be the fantasy MVP of the season. And 2, Mike Evans came back to save you.
Yeah.
Because Mike Evans balled
Not the game,
out. Huh? No,
came back to save you, but not the game.
It wasn't his fault. That was not his fault. Mike Evans was the best thing that the Buccaneers had going all night long. Bucky Irving in spurts, but it doesn't like what I was telling Brian on the way over. We talked about the game, is that the Buccaneers offense is just not. It's not cohesive. It doesn't flow. There doesn't seem to be a plan. And like when you watch the Rams and when you watch the Lions, when you watch who's another outstanding, like when you watch the Cowboys. Week after week after week, you can watch game film of them playing against opponents and them running the same fucking plays against opponents, and not in the same, rhythm, but they have a pace to their offense and they're trying to accomplish certain things in certain downs and distances and stuff like that. And the Buccaneers just don't seem to have that going on. Like you see teams that like they get pushed into from like 3rd and 4 into 3rd and 9, and it's like, and that changes what their plan was. And I don't feel that that's necessarily the case with the Buccaneers. The Buccaneers feel like their offense is just like, okay, we've got a play called, and they go out there and they commit a false start, and they go, okay, it's okay, we'll just run the play again. We'll just run the same play. Because like, and what I mean by that is that like it doesn't feel like they are putting pressure on the opposing defense from an X's and O's standpoint. It's a lot of Baker Mayfield dropping back, whatever his first read happens to be, either him not being there, or him not seeing it, because there's plenty of also like, there were plenty of times when you look at the end zone cam, and there was an open receiver, and Baker just didn't see him. And part of that, like I've killed Russell Wilson for this, in the past, and Kyler Murray and stuff. So I gotta be true to it. And Baker Mayfield's not 6 foot. He is a short quarterback. He doesn't see everything that's happening. And I think
who was I saying about that earlier this year? I was like, dang, he's so freaking short. Who was I saying that about? It was in the text chain. He kept getting balls blocked. In one of those games.
Yeah, I do remember that. You called somebody out for being really short. Was that Jalen Hurts? You called Jalen Hurts out.
I don't think it was Jalen Hurts.
It was definitely Jalen Hurts, and Jalen Hurts is only 6 foot. He's 6 foot even. But they all, and you see it when they drop back, and they're not able to just deliver the ball right over the middle. They can never do that. Never. They never do that. It's always like an angle through arms, or or the pocket opens a little bit, and then there's their window to throw. But you don't like these quarterbacks who are sub 6'2" is really what seems like the breaking point. Yeah. And if you're shorter than that, like, you struggle to throw the ball over the middle. And that's what seems to be happening with this Buccaneers offense right now, is everything is on the boundaries. They are just not able to attack the middle of the field. And Bucky Irving looks good, but their offense isn't designed to like pound you. And what I said was
Irving is not a pounder.
What I said was that they have 3 great running backs, and they have a pretty decent offensive line, and they have a quarterback who's extremely capable, but he's not Drew Brees. You can't ask Baker Mayfield to drop back 40 times a game. That's not going to go well. 28 to 30, like, he can kill you. Like, if you have a decent running game and you're able to, run some play action and stuff like that, and he actually has time to look at more than one receiver, he can kill you. But if you're asking him to drop back and beat a blitz without like Drew Brees would, without actually seeing his receiver, he's not going to do that.
Yeah. He's
just going to get hit. And that's what I see is I think they're asking him to do too much, and I don't, based on the running backs that they have, what we've seen out of all of their running backs, I don't get it. Why not just focus on the running game? Just pound people to death, and especially while their receivers were all hurt.
I was going to say, but their running backs aren't pounders either.
Rashad White's a big no. Yes, they are. White and Tucker are huge.
Okay, but his yards per carry up the as a runner.
White is
he's a slow plotter.
Rashad White,
he's much better as a receiving
He's not
back.
that slow. He's not that slow. He's not super fast. He's not like I feel like when players don't have the speed of like Jahmyr Gibbs, or like
That's not even what I
like I feel like they get labeled as slow. But
he doesn't have the speed of Kenneth Walker. That's the problem.
Ken Walker is also somebody who has speed like Jahmyr Gibbs. That's a really fast human.
Sorry, I meant to say Gainwell, but
Gainwell's and see now, and to me that is a good comp. Rashad White is a lot like Ken Gainwell, and Kenneth Gainwell looks awesome every time the ball.
Not a compliment.
I like Gainwell a lot. I like him a lot.
He is an okay
but yeah,
backup.
White is 215 pounds. Bucky is right at 200. So you have and then Tucker is 230. So you have all the different levels, and Rashad White is he's your guy that you're going to have in on pass protection. So on those and he runs the ball well. Like he doesn't get his one carry last night was 20 yards. 11 for 53. He has a game with 7 for 38, 10 for 51, 10 for like it's 10 for 65. Like he has these games where he runs the ball really well, and to me their offense is at its best when they are attacking you with both running backs. And then they just kind of like they finish the job off with one of those talented receivers, but they have a stable of running backs to me that they should be leaning on. They're not. That is the biggest crime that's happening in Tampa Bay right now, is that those guys aren't getting more work.
And I guess unless you develop Tucker, I just don't.
Tucker's in his third year.
I don't see them with like this ground and pound game. That it's all.
It reminds me.
Dunk and
so what it reminds me of is
when you're defending the pass, we'll run up the middle because we have less guys. Like
what it reminds me of is the 07 Giants. The 07 Giants had so Eli was in his prime. They had Plaxico Burress. They had another receiver. I can't remember. They had Jeremy Shockey. They had some talented guys in pass catching, but the real like secret sauce of their offense was their running back trio that they called Earth, Wind, and Fire. Mm-hmm. And it was 3 different running backs. It was I think this was like right after Tiki Barber. And I cannot remember all of their names. I believe that Brandon Jacobs was still one of them.
Yes.
Brandon Jacobs was hard to stop. Like, and that's the thing is like Tucker is your short yardage Brandon Jacobs guy. No, it's okay. You want to say something like that? Let's look at Jerome Bettis' stats, dude.
Brandon Jacobs was never an impressive running back. Ever.
That's not true.
I'm sorry.
That's not true. And he also
he just was not a good running back.
So what do you think? With that, call it a night.
Sounds good to me.
Yep.
All right, everybody. We'll see you next week.
Peace.
You're so disrespectful all the time to players. It's weird. It's weird.